We're live on the internet. Whoop, whoop.
Or
Um, Hello, everybody. I've just realised my camera's a bit wonky. I'll fix that at the break. Welcome back to Stranger Games. Tonight is Burnout GM. We have Lewis back. He is going to be GM in this session of Lasers and Feelings. Things are going to get very wild, very fast from what I hear, and it's going to be hopefully a very funny episode. Lots of laughs on our part, at least. Remember, if you can't watch the whole episode, if you check out our YouTube, which there's a link in the description below, you can subscribe there. And if you're already watching on YouTube, get over to our Twitch and give us a follow or subscribe there so that you can keep up to date on the streams as they come out. Wednesdays, 7 PM for Burnout GM. Sundays is By the Book, which Fran is going to start with a new group of players this week. So, we'll keep it nice and short, and I'll pass right on over to Lewis to get us started.
right, hello everyone. So this system is called Lasers and Feelings. You might have heard of it from the one live show Adventure Zone did. That's where I heard of it. It's such a simple system that the entire rules fits on one page. Every character has one stat, and that's the number next to everyone's names. When you make a roll, you pick one of two options: lasers or feelings, and you roll the d6. If you roll lasers, you want to be below your number. If you roll feelings, you want to be above your number. That's basically the rules. There's other stuff, but we won't worry about that. So we'll start with the setup. We are with the crew of the Interplanetary Sensitivity, often short to T.I.P.S Sensitivity. And they are on a journey through space to do space adventure stuff. Their captain, Captain Darcy, has been overcome by the strange psychic entity known as something else, and is recovering in a medical pod, leaving the crew to take over. He's left two rules for the rest of the crew: don't interrupt him while he's in his medical pod, and don't go on the bridge of the ship. We will now cut to the various members of the crew. Venus, what are you doing?
I am currently looking around the ship to see whether I can find out sort of anything more about what's happened to Captain Darcy, because as much as I'm feeling worried, I just feel like I need to do something about it.
Okay, so that's investigation. That sounds like a reasonable thing. So I'm going to say, do you want to roll lasers?
Let's
So
do
you're
it.
looking to roll below your number.
Nope, not below.
Okay, you can't figure out anything else about Captain Darcy. You sort of have a look around in the medical bay, which is probably the biggest room on the ship because like half this party are doctors. So
I'm just trying to be helpful, but
yeah,
I clearly don't
try
have
your
the
best,
skills.
but you don't have the skills to help with Captain Darcy. We'll go for, how about Jimmy Starsparkle? What are you up to?
So, Jimmy is sitting in his little quarters, sitting on his bed, writing in his journal. Dear Diary, I feel like nothing ever gets done on this ship. I feel like I'm the one always needing to lift people's spirits up. I feel like, as a psychologist, someone should be here to support me emotionally as well. And I feel like this is it's just unfair. I feel stressed, I feel tired, and I feel so angry at this stupid captain. And then I want to throw my book at the wall, trying to like smash a picture of like the captain that I've got framed up there.
Sure. That seems like a raw outpour of emotion. Roll feelings.
I thought it was going to be lasers for accuracy.
Because it's a raw outpouring of emotion. I feel that you should roll feelings.
I rolled 3.
Okay, well that would succeed because you want to roll above feelings. So you throw this book and it smashes this picture of Captain Darcy, which then falls to the floor.
Oh, I feel like you deserve that. I wipe away my robotic tears, for I am an android and do not actually cry.
Just a bit of oil.
I just wipe, and it like scrapes across my face as I do it. So I just have a scratch here from now on.
Yeah. Then we'll end with the knife. What are you up to? Or I forgot your character's full name.
Plasma the Knife Stewart. I'm called the Knife because I'm a surgeon, so I'm chilling in the medical bay, sterilizing instruments, keeping an eye on the captain's vitals, and hoping to figure out what went wrong and how to rescue him, because I'm a doctor and that's my job.
Okay. That sounds like lasers. So just give me a lasers roll.
That's a big fail.
Cool. So you're keeping everything safe, but again, you cannot figure what else has happened to Captain Darcy. It's almost like he has a case of not in this episode-itis. A rare and mysterious disease. At this point, across the ship, which you are the only members of apart from Darcy, you hear a hail on the speaker system, which informs you that there has been a signal sent to the main control unit.
Would that be on the bridge?
The bridge, that's the word.
Where we're not supposed to go.
I pick up my diary and just say, I feel like I'm so tired of this. And I feel like I don't care what you've got to say. I'm going to the bridge. And then I storm off to the bridge.
Okay, you storm off to the bridge.
I'm following you because I'm an explorer, so I just can't let it be. I just have to know what this call is.
Uh-huh.
So I'm following Jimmy.
Yeah, I think we should all storm the bridge together.
Okay, so
Captain's not gonna know.
You storm up to the bridge, and you see that the door, the entrance to it, next to it there is a number pad, and none of you know the password. What do you do?
I feel like Knife should know the password because I feel like Knife is supposed to be the most prepared of us. So, Knife?
The captain did not vouchsafe me that information.
Nope.
I can try and hack it.
Cool. So hacking will sound like a lasers roll to me.
All right. Ooh, that's a 2.
That's a 2. So
That's laser.
rolled below for lasers, so that succeeds. So with a little bit of deduction, you look at the 4 numbers on the pad that are the greasiest, and you bloop away at them, and eventually the door slides open, sort of Star Trek style, side to side, and you can enter the control bridge. You see a large flashing red light on the desk with a button next to it.
Well, I think I should hit the button.
Okay, you press the button, and in front of you, over the sort of front window, you see a cyberpunk-looking pirate appear, and you see he looks at you and looks a bit confused. So he goes, "I was looking for Captain Darcy."
I feel like this is some sort of hazard because, like, we can't see out the front window when you're projected there.
It's fine. You're on a spaceship. It has autopilot.
I feel like we need to talk to health and safety. I'm going to write this down in my journal.
Meanwhile, I'm trying to discover why he's appeared on the screen. So, what? Why are you here? What do you want?
As I said, I was looking for Captain Darcy.
Well, Captain Darcy can't be with you right now, so you can tell us. Maybe?
Are you his mighty crew?
Oh, yes.
Great. We have a problem back at the space pirate base that Captain Darcy used to be with, and we're looking to call in and assist from him.
I feel like even though he's in some sort of like coma or whatever, or like it's meant to be, I feel like he's always getting us in trouble.
Yeah, we've got a bad enough reputation as it is, as a ship as a whole, so maybe we should err on the side of caution at the moment and find out a bit more.
I feel like we maybe shouldn't have said all this in front of the pirate.
I was
did say it out
you
loud.
guys should like have an aside, but y'all charged ahead without me.
I'm sorry, I just like to express myself, okay? Jeez. Jimmy sits down and like crosses his metal legs, and again scraping the metal as I do so.
I just sort of look at the knife, going, "What do we do now?"
I am still here, so
Is there a hold button? Put him on hold.
you could roll lasers to determine the hold button.
Let's give it a try. I feel like I have to do that on my phone. That's also a 2.
That's a 2. So you look at all the buttons available to you, and you just pick one at random, and then that kind of pauses the image of him.
Okay, you guys, I think we need to talk about this before we give him any answers. We do have these reputation problems that we already, are struggling with. I love my captain, but he's made some bad decisions. Do you think helping pirates is the smartest thing to do under the circumstances?
Depends what they want, I think.
Jimmy,
should we find out what they want?
Jimmy does not pay attention at all. He's now turned his chair so that his back is facing you guys.
I pick up the closest thing to me and just sort of chuck it at the chair just to try and get his attention.
I'll say roll lasers.
3.
3. So your score is 3. So since you rolled exactly your number, you get a thing known as laser feelings. So it counts as a success on the thing you're doing, and you can also ask me one question about the situation you're currently in, which I will answer honestly.
Am I allowed to confer with the team about the question?
Okay, so you're chucking at Jimmy.
Yeah.
So you will succeed at hitting the chair to get Jimmy's attention, but you can also ask me, the game master.
No, she's asking if she's allowed to ask us what the question can be.
Yeah, you can confirm with them. That'll be fine. I misunderstood.
What should we ask?
I'm curious to see what you come up with, so Jimmy's just going to keep until the chair's hit.
Who you got on?
I don't know, because, I feel like this adventure is probably the way the story proceeds, but I don't know.
How does Captain Darcy know the pirates? Why do they know her?
See, guys, Captain Darcy used to have some sort of shadier business. They used to work with the pirates. They weren't directly a pirate, but they sort of helped them with smuggling runs and stuff, and being a bit of muscle. So they're calling in a favour.
Oh no, I've got Jimmy's attention.
Yes.
So
Would you like to impress in this conversation?
Does it just hit the back of the chair, or?
Yeah, it hits the back of your chair to get your attention.
I feel like that was unnecessary. All you had to do was ask how I was feeling.
You turned the chair around, so...
I feel like this is just you all over Venus. And I'm not meant to share this, but I feel like you might have some temper control problems. You're so quick to jump to action. It's just unreal. Anyway, what do you want? What are we doing?
We want to know your input on what's going on with the pirates.
I feel like no matter what, they're going to end up making us help them. They're pirates. There's only 3 of us as far as I know on the ship. I feel like it's unclear because I feel like the captain doesn't exactly keep clear logs, you know? He should be keeping captain's logs, but I feel like he doesn't. And he doesn't even come to his mandated therapy. Like, I feel like, what's the point in having a therapist if you're not going to use the therapist, you know? Point is, we should probably just help.
Yeah.
We don't have any weapons, so if they decide to turn on us if we don't help, we could be in big trouble.
But what happens if we say that we don't help? They'll make us do it anyway.
I'm going to push the button.
Press the button.
Go for it.
Oh, sorry, you cut out of me a bit there. You must have gone through a space tunnel.
I feel like you need to just shut up and tell us what you want exactly, and I feel like we'll help you. All right?
Okay, the Space Beard, the Space King pirate, has asked you to meet him at his ship to discuss terms for the rescue of his friend, the Space Queen pirate.
I feel like you should be able to do that. Is that not why you're here?
Well,
I feel like you can negotiate on
I
his behalf.
look,
I feel like
look.
I feel.
I
Eh,
I
eh,
don't make the rules. I just get told what to do, man. Like, come on, just work with me here. Come on, please.
Well, where are you at the moment?
I'll
So we
send
have to
you
get to
the.
you.
I'll send you the directions. We are surprisingly close. It's almost convenient.
Almost convenient.
I feel like if we come, you give us guns. How's that? Before
Sure,
anything.
you can talk to Space Beard about that. And at that, you see a sort of a ping on one of the touch screens because this thing has like buttons and then also touch screens on the board. It's like some of it's whatever. And a ping comes up and it's like an email basically. It just has directions to get to the space pirate fleet.
I've broke it. What have I done?
And at that, the space pirate like lifts his hand up, which has a laser hook on it, and then he hits a button and it closes off.
Yeah, Jimmy's thinking he broke the panel.
All right, I'm gonna go and open the email thing and try and input the coordinates.
Yeah, that sounds again like a laser's roll.
Do I know how to fly the ship?
Let's find
that's
out.
a big fail. That's a 5.
Okay, so you attempt to start inputting the things, and you kind of put it in the wrong order. So you're currently hitting on the incorrect course. So you're gonna miss by a bit, unless someone wants to try and fix that. I'm
feel
also
like
going to
as
remind you
the-
all of remembering to ask about your tags, like the things you picked for your character. So like if they're like an android or whatever, and you can use that to try and schmooze me to give you extra dice. And you can
Okay.
also help each other if you want.
Well, as the explorer, many a time I've been on the bridge with Darcy, looking at how he commands the ship and flies it. So I feel like I should be the one to go and help the knife to input the coordinates. And then I realise that we're on the wrong course. So I'm like, whoa, what are you doing here? And then I go and input the right coordinates.
Okay, how about you roll laser forts then? 5. Okay, so in your attempt to steer everyone back on course, well, because you're explorer, I'll let you roll another d6.
1. So
1, so that's a success. So you
Yeah.
managed to get the ship back towards the general location of the space pirate fleet, and sort of as you come out of your FTL slip hyper speed force maneuver, which is the technical term for it.
Does it sound like banjos playing as we go through? Ding, ding, ding,
Definitely.
ding, ding, ding.
Definitely high speeds.
and there's just a bass drum when we get there.
Yeah, and you sort of come out of hyperspeed and you see before you a fleet of literal space pirate ships. Like just giant pirate ships in space, and they have like bubbles over the top of them so that they can breathe in space. And there's one that's like way bigger than the others. It's got like 5 masts and 3 black flags and like 15 rows of cannons, which you assume is the main ship of the Space Pirate King.
Dear Diary, it was today that Jimmy realizes, meaning me, that I was going to die. I feel like I led the crew down the wrong path. As usual, I feel like a failure. And then just scrape my face again, buffing the metal further.
Okay. What do you do upon seeing the fleet of space pirate ships?
Are we sure this is a good idea, guys? Like, come on. You better go up there then.
So as you sort of approach towards the ship, you see from the deck someone waves at spots you and waves someone over, and then a like space dinghy that's just like a tiny little like rowed boat with a bubble around it, like basically swims through space out towards your ship and meets at the docking bay to invite you on.
All right, let's go do this.
So you join the two space pirates on their space pirate dinghy, and they paddle you back to the deck of the Space Pirate King ship. Where as you land, you meet a gigantic fellow, possibly like 15 foot tall and about as wide, with this gigantic curly beard that sticks out like just an explosion of hair from his chin, with a pirate hat. He's got an eye patch over one eye. His other eye is a robot eye. Both of his hands are hooks, and both are peg legs. And he sort of waddles towards you, and as he's about to sit down, a space pirate king throne appears underneath him, using teleportation stuff, and he looks at you all and says, "I am Spacebeard, the Space Pirate King."
Guys, I feel like I might be related. He's part robot, and I'm
Just
a
about
robot.
to say that.
Do you think he's my dad?
Might be your cousin.
Roll feelings to determine if you think he's your dad.
I rolled a 4.
So that would be so. What would you deem a success in this situation?
I mean, if he's my dad, that would be amazing.
Okay, so since I'll say also roll another one because you're an android.
I rolled a 6 the second time.
6. Okay, so you've rolled above feelings twice. So he looks at you with strange glint in his robot eye, and then he lifts up the eye patch to reveal an actual working actual eye. And he squints his eye. He goes, "We must be cousins because there's no mistaking that robotic eye of yours." And as you look, his robot eye also has a whole bunch of scratches underneath it, and you now realise you're shockingly similar. You must be related to the Space Pirate King.
Daddy! And I go to hug him, even though he said he's my cousin.
You sort of go up and
Oh no, I run full speed.
roll feelings for hug quality.
3.
3. So you're barely able to get your arms around this gigantic cyborg's belly, and his two hooked hands come and sort of dig into your sides a little bit uncomfortably as he gives you a big hug.
Can I use my robot arms to make them stretchy? Like, make them, like, wrap round further?
Sure. You sort of expand your arms, and eventually you get a full hug on the Space Pirate King Spacebeard, and eventually he releases your hug. Anyway, I was looking for Captain Darcy, but now I know one of my robot blood is on the case. Everything will be fine. I've slipped into the other pirate voice I was doing. What has happened is that my wife, the Space Pirate Queen, has been kidnapped by space bugs.
That's my mum. We need to save my mum.
Yeah, I think she's your cousin first. Whatever, family trees are confusing. And he goes, "We know the location of the of the armada, but if we send our ships in, it'd be too obvious. We need you to sneak aboard their mothership and find my wife and return her to me."
We were promised guns when we got here, so we were.
Oh, you want?
quite
We got
lucky.
loads of those. And he like clanks his hooks together, and then like some pirates run from below decks with these like treasure chests, which they place in front of you and open them up, and they're filled with every kind of space laser gun you can imagine, and also a couple laser hook cans.
I take a laser hook hand and the most difficult to carry gun possible.
Cool. So you reach into the box. You have your laser hook hand, which you can sort of swap onto your hand because you're a robot. And then this giant, like, minigun style cannon. It has giant, like, cooling chips that you have to load into it to get fire. And it's basically a massive laser rocket launcher, effectively, that shoots just giant concentrated beams of laser and then turns off immediately. So you have to keep swapping it chips.
I feel like this
I
is
think
going to
that-
be the easiest to use.
It's
And I take it.
It's somewhat akin to the BFG from Doom.
Yes. If Jimmy
I'll
gets to
pick up-
rip and tear,
And I'll say you can use that 3 times. Just it returns to Doom Guy. Not sponsored, unfortunately.
Whilst he's picking up this gun, I just roll my eyes at him and go and pick up 2 pistol-like guns, just purely because they'll be the easiest to carry, so I can be quick.
have we lost you, Lewis? No, you're back.
So everything went really slow and glitchy for a second. Can you please repeat that for me?
Whilst Jimmy's picking up his gun, I just subtly roll my eyes at him. Seriously. And then go pick up 2 pistol sort of guns. They'll just be the easiest to use and the quickest.
You have dual wield space pistol like flintlock pistols, but they're laser guns.
Nice.
Plasma, the knife Stuart, what kind of guns do you wish to take?
I don't know. I'm thinking maybe something like a shotgun with kind of a broad spray of laser.
Like what, like pump action or double barrel?
Double barrel.
Double, correct answer. You get a sawed-off shotgun that has like the bits you put in as for the coolant chips for the laser guns, and it's just like it kind of like double cone fires like a flashlight.
Nice.
We've lost you, Lewis.
Clearly, the technology on the pirate ship is just lagging.
Yes, the lasers got too much.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's we're having to render the full space pirate ship, and it's causing problems.
It's really outdated.
Yeah. It might be worth trying to switch off your video for a second and then pop it back on.
Okay,
Um,
can you hear me though?
yes.
Yeah.
Great. You find a laser sawed-off shotgun and you put the coolant chips in where the bullets would go on a normal shotgun. And Space Beard looks down upon you with a knowing wink from his robotic eye and sends you on your way to the Hive Armada with new coordinates.
Before we leave, as we're like heading for the door, I want to stop, look back, and just say, I feel like I found part of me today, and I feel like
I
would prefer a quill than this stupid laser pen. Do you have one, Papa?
roll feelings.
4. I'm good at feelings. Jimmy's
4.
got all the feelings.
Cool. He can provide a quill with ink. It's from a space burn, so it's really big. Cool. So you get back upon the tip and head off towards the Hive Armada. So as you sort of do this, you power up the ship and you start to fly out. And you hear through the void of space somehow Space Beard wishing you luck and waving you off with his hook hand. And you zoom off through space again on your hyper fast slipstream light speed, whatever I called it. Like red dot on a map zooming around, and you again come out of warp. Here you see a planet that's currently being invaded by the Hive Armada. The Hive Armada is a series of flying beehives in space that all surround like the top of this planet. In the middle you see one especially large space beehive, and you can see a very easy way in by going in the giant hole at the back of it.
Okay, real quick, before we come out of hyperspace, can we activate our cloaking device?
Yes, you can. So before we started, we picked a few things for the ship to have, and one of them is a cloaking device, and the other one is that it's fast. So you activate your ship's cloaking device, and it sort of chameleons its way space to make it look as invisible as anything could be invisible. And so as you sort of come out of hyperspace, you're invisible. You see the Hive Armada before you. What do you do?
Dear Diary, I feel like today has been a very strange day already. I feel like 1 minute we were going to die, and then the next, I have a new cousin daddy. And now
Oh,
I'm
God.
away to save my cousin mommy, and I feel like I am going to save my family. I feel like it's time for Jimmy to become the hero he always deserved to be. Not the one anyone needed. Because all I do is feel... Scrape.
Crying a single robot tear. So, what's your plan to get inside the Hive Armada flagship?
Well, personally, I feel like we need to use disguise to get in there. So I'm going to look around the ship to see if I can find anything to disguise ourselves as bees.
As bees. Okay. I'm going to say feelings. And if you can give me a justification for either of your tags to give you extra dice.
3. That's what I got.
Okay. Do you have any justification to roll extra dice on that?
I tripped up whilst I was exploring, and so I need a bit more time to just have a bit longer search to find some interesting materials to disguise with.
Okay, I will say roll another dice for Explorer.
2.
2. Okay, so that was 1 success, 1 fail, so 1 success. You make a semi-convincing bee costume for exactly you.
Waddle back onto the bridge. Hey guys!
While Venus has been away, I'm going to decide that it's important that we get closer to this beehive, and I am going to try and steer the ship closer.
Okay, roll lasers.
I have to roll below a 2 to succeed at this. Oh my god, I got a 2.
So that's
not even a joke. Like
Jimmy, that's laser feelings right there. So not only do you get a success, but you also get to ask me a question about the current situation.
Other than the possibility of saving my cousin mummy,
I hate those words together.
Am I going to be able to find any more family to save on this adventure or connect with?
I don't think so.
We'll see.
We will see. So as you start successfully piloting the tip towards the hole, plasma the knife, Stuart, anything you wish to do?
I don't know. I feel like I need to know more about what's happening. Like, what do these bees look like? Like, what are we going to see in the hole? So I'm just chilling.
Okay. So not want to do anything, just wait for the tip to enter the hole. I'm making the worst face right now because this is why this name is hysterical. I'm very proud of myself. So we'll have everyone, and you're successfully, with the power of Jimmy Star Sparkle, piloting the tip into the hole of the beehive. Where do you want to go? As you sort of enter, you see there's sort of 3 places you could theoretically land. The whole place is just these different hexagons all sticking out, and seem to be sort of building up, going towards the bottom as it gets denser. Well, there's 3 sort of landing pads that are currently unoccupied.
I make sure to be cautious no matter what, and try not to hit anything.
Okay, so I will say to nail the landing here, I will have you roll lasers, but you're prepared, so you'll have another d6.
No way. I rolled a 1 and a 2.
Okay, so that's two successes and one laser feelings. So
What the f-
you can ask me a question about the current situation.
Do any of these bees have a cool afro?
So as you look around, you see surprising lack of bees in this area. But you do see that there is several sort of anthropomorphic fly people hanging around on the different hexagonal platforms that you could potentially land on. They seem to be attending to spaceships which are shaped like giant bees.
Oh, do any of them have afros?
No,
No.
they don't really have hair. They're sort of flies.
I just want to land the ship on top of them then. I'm not okay.
Okay, but 2 seconds. You sort of descend the ship down, and because of its cloaking device, they don't notice until it's too late, as the two of them are squished underneath the tip. What are you guys going to do now you have landed? And people are aware of your presence because there's a lot of blood splattered on the underside of your ship.
Yeah, so much for our cloaking device.
I feel like we were going to get thin eventually.
I feel like I should get out first with this magnificent bee costume that I have now made and use the space phone camera scanner thingy to translate into the language to try and work out where the queen is.
Okay, roll lasers for me.
4.
4. So you don't succeed. So you take out your phone scanner, and as you do so, some of the fly people on one of the other platforms look curiously at you because there's a blood splatter and you've got a phone. And they flutter their wings and sort of buzz over the gap towards you.
Quick, back on the ship! I'm just sort of going to wander back on the ship and be like, guys.
How does the ship open? How is Venus?
It's like there's like a little flap at the back that folds down,
Okay.
Millennium Falcon style.
What's directly in front?
Directly in front, it sort of goes into a wall at the side of the.
Okay. I am going to say, I feel like you should get off the ship, Knife, and I feel like you should maybe teleport the captain somewhere else, because I'm doing it, and then I'm going to make the ship go full speed ahead.
Okay. So
There's nowhere safe that I can teleport him. We are in the middle of an enemy ship.
So
I feel
what's
like
the
we'll
plan
be
here?
fine.
So
like it'll be
are you
fine.
chucking the knife off the ship and then flying the tip into the fly people?
Pretty much, I'm going to try and cause as much carnage as I can, even if it means destroying the tip. The tips. Sorry, the tip sensitivity.
The tips. Sure.
And a big. I want the tip.
Say...
I want the tip sensitivity to explode. That's what I want.
You want the tip to explode? Okay. I will say this could be feelings because it's quite. I feel the passion behind this action.
There is.
So roll 1d6 on feelings.
6.
6. That's a success. So you get everyone else off the ship apart from Darcy, who's still in the medical pod.
Can we teleport him?
Unless you're taking him with you. I'll have the knife roll lasers on that. A single lasers because she's not prepared.
Hey, that's a 1.
A 1, cool. So you teleport Captain Darcy to a medical pod on another ship. We'll just say back on the space pirate ship.
Okay.
and you jump off the back of the ship dramatically as it lifts up and spins, and Jimmy Starsparkle at full speed ahead rams the tip into these fly people.
Oh,
Um,
can I just make sure I state this before you describe it exploding? I would like to jump off.
Okay, so as the tip hits these two and starts flying towards a wall as they're sort of pinned to the front of it, Jimmy dramatically runs through the entire ship,
Grab the gun.
grabbing his big gun and leaping out the back.
I grab my diary, and then I realise, shit, I forgot my quill. No!
and you go flying dramatically, and as it explodes in the side wall of the ship, the blast of force sends you somersaulting over, and you land next to your friends. Your back is a bit sort of singed, but you've got your big gun and your diary. But you no longer have the tip.
This could be a problem, guys.
Jimmy,
Jimmy, what did you do?
I feel like it wasn't my fault. I feel like you didn't give me enough direction. I feel like the captain should be here. Okay. I feel like Venus should have came up with a better costume for us all. I blame Venus.
Why are you always blaming me? You could have very easily gone and made your own costume. I feel like it would have been better because you've got so many feelings and passion to put into making them as well.
Dear diary, once again, Venus gets us in a mess, and then I correctly say that it's Venus's fault, and Venus once again deflects onto me. Clear signs of not being able to correctly identify with themselves and understand themselves. I feel like she should be put in an asylum. I turn my back again, which is just like singed and scratched.
At this point, you hear an alarm go off in the ship from the sudden explosion on it, but instead of like a bell ringing, it's like a buzzing sound of a large amount of insects.
All right. Is there anywhere in this room that we can go and hide? Like, is there a tunnel we can duck into? Is there a way to get out of direct sight?
It looks like ahead of you on the platform there is an entrance into sort of the side of the hive that will take you deeper within.
All right. I think we should go that way and see if we can find somewhere to hide or find some way to get to the queen.
Yeah.
Jimmy remains standing there tapping his foot. I feel like Venus has to apologise first.
Very sarcastically. Okay. I am so sorry for everything that I've caused you. So can we just get out of here now?
I feel like we're best friends again. Come here, Venus. And then I hug her, like making sure not to damage the bee costume.
Roll feelings.
4.
Cool. You succeed in that.
Best friends.
So you head off into the wall of the hive and start to go down this winding corridor that goes around it, spiraling down through the ship's layers. And as you do so, you hear the pitter-patter of several feet coming towards you from below.
I feel like this is quite inefficient of fly people. Should they not have wings? I feel like they should have wings. I say that to the others as we
The tunnel you're in is not quite big enough for flying, you assume.
I still say it anyway. Jimmy's not very
Hold on,
smart.
guys. I've got this. I'm going to try again to speak to these people.
Okay,
Try
so
again.
you sort of take a few steps forward, just sort of around the curve from these two, and you see sort of marching towards these 3 figures. They're sort of giant, upright beetle guys. They've got massive biceps and all have like various big nose horns. And they walk towards you like with tiny little bug eyes.
I'm going to use my phone device to translate.
Okay, so since you're prepared, I'll give you an additional d6. Roll 2 feelings.
While that's happening, I whisper to Knife, I feel like there's a theme on this ship.
I've got a 2 and a 6.
A 2
So
and a
one.
6. So 1 success. That's a mixed success. So one of the beetles look at you and they go, and they sort of step aside to let you go past.
Okay.
Hold it there, guys. I would just like to know one thing. Just sort of turn around to them very dramatically. Where is the control panels for this ship? I'm very new to it. I've only just arrived onto this specific one, so
With 6 arms, all of them simultaneously go.
On your way then.
They sort of let you shuffle past them, and then they turn and they start walking down the corridor again towards Jimmy and Plasma, the knife, Stuart.
Oh dear.
I'm just going
I was hoping we could sneak through in her wake. Okay.
So as they're turning around and they're just about to get to Plasma and Jimmy, I take out my 2 pistols and shoot them both in the back.
Okay, roll lasers.
Trying to be as quiet as possible, obviously.
Okay, so that sounds like a roll of lasers.
Nope.
We're in big trouble.
So you take out these 2 pistols, which, having never fired before, and dual wielding also isn't that good, so you pull out and you try and be cool, but you end up just shooting 2 walls. And that makes all the beetles' heads turn in unison. Jimmy and the knife, what do you want to do?
Well, I was going to try and negotiate with them, but I think we're in a shootout now, so I pull out my laser shotgun.
Yeah?
Load my cooling chips.
Yep.
Aim for the nearest beetle.
Okay.
I just get my diary and
That style is heroic, so do I get an extra die?
I'll say it's heroic having a shootout to save your friends, so that'll be 2d6. And since you're rolling lasers, you want 3 or lower.
I got a 3 and a 2.
A 3 and a 2, so that's 1 success and 1 laser feelings. So you get to ask me a question about the current situation.
Oh, goodness. I mean, how concerned should we be about these beetles? Like, are they armored? Like, is their shell enough to, like, deflect our lasers, or do we have a chance of
you don't know, like, before you fire, you don't know if their shell is, like, laser resistant, but it does look like they're probably fairly tough bunch of dudes. Or dudettes, you know.
Hard to tell with beetles.
Yeah, I mean, they're also, like, all wearing, like, suits over the top. They look like bouncers, basically. So you pull out your laser shotgun and you go bang, and it shoots through the first beetle. He sort of goes backwards. The guy behind him catches him, and his head turns to you, and he looks unhappy. And we'll say it's Jimmy's turn.
Dear diary.
Oh God, Jimmy, you're going to get us killed.
Venus failed once again. Of course, no one knows that I'm writing this. But once again, Venus failed after we made up. I feel like us being best friends is no longer valid. She can't even convince some stupid beetles that we're prisoners or worth nothing, just worth letting past. And I feel like Plasma, like, she's shooting people, but she's not exactly doing... Oh crap, they're coming. I say that out loud, and then that's the end of my turn.
Cool. As you say that, the beetle who caught his friend puts him down on the ground. I'll get you for that, you son of a bitch! And he starts charging at you, horn first. And he's charging right into Plasma the knife.
I love
Oh God.
Jimmy or the knife can come up with something to do.
No! But I'm going to do it in that kind of slow motion to make it like I'm doing a dramatic gesture to the beetle.
Okay. You're doing a slow-mo jump in front of the beetle.
Yeah, it's like what I'm doing is I'm extending one of my legs, my robot legs, to rather than me jump, it's just making me look like I'm moving through the air. So it's like,
So I will say roll feelings, but roll an additional dice because you're a robot. And I'm gonna say, because I think Jimmy's always ready to be dramatic, roll an additional for being prepared.
Okay, so the first roll I made was a 1, so that's a
Okay.
fail on feelings.
Yep.
The second one was a 2, which is laser feelings. And then the third was a 3, so that's a pass on feelings.
Okay, so 2 successes and a laser feelings. So what do you want to know for your laser feelings?
Where is the bridge to this ship?
For what you assume towards the bottom. So since you're going down slightly, you think you're heading the right direction.
Nice.
So as you sort of dramatically extend your leg to get in the way of the beetle, it sort of slows down a bit because it gets confused by why you're moving so slowly. But it still does. It still does hit into you with its horn and sort of throw you backwards, as it sort of charges in the way. But because you're a robot, it doesn't like damage anything really. We'll go to Venus. The other beetle has decided that it's going to try and take you down, so he sort of like rolls his shoulder and gets into a boxing stance and starts coming up towards you.
Whilst it's going on, I'm putting one of the pistols away and I'm just sort of trying to aim because clearly I'm not a very good shot at this point in time. I'm just sort of trying to aim with a pistol. I don't know what.
Okay, so
just
roll lasers. And that sounds like you're unprepared, so it's going to be 1d6.
Nope. I'm really bad with guns.
So
really.
As this guy sort of comes towards you like this Mike Tyson boxing stance, he starts to bob and weave between your laser shots and starts getting really close, about to bop you in the face. Plasma, what do you want to do? Jimmy's just been sent flying backwards by this charging beetle.
All right, I think I better try and shoot at the one that's trying to punch Venus out.
Okay, so you're gonna roll for lasers.
And do I still get an extra die for being heroic?
Yeah, it's trying to save your pals. That's heroic.
Exactly. Venus, no, it's a 1 and a 5.
On lasers, so that'll be 1 was below, so that's good. So you get 1 success. So you will hit the beetle. Well, there's complication. So you hit him, and he sort of looks angry, like he feels the pain from the shot. However, this does not take him out, and that'll be the thing. So you're successful in saving Venus from harm at the moment. What we'll say.
But the beetle's not dead.
Yeah, the other beetle that's just talked Jimmy is going to start coming in towards the knife. He's like charging on all 8 up the corridor towards where the knife is now. Jimmy, what do you want to do? You've sort of been chucked painfully against the ground.
Stand up very quickly and slam my book on the ground and yell at the top of my lungs, "Stop! I feel like we need to talk about this. I feel like it's time to express our feelings. I feel like it's time that we sit in a circle and talk this out rather than shoot it out. I feel like you're lashing out and it's nothing to do with us, and I feel like you over there, well, I feel like you're just being a dick. Pardon my language."
Okay, I will say.
Also, my goal in the game is to express myself, so I feel like that should maybe help.
I feel like Jimmy is always prepared to express himself, and I also feel like because he's a psychiatrist, I will give him another dice on this roll.
So I have 3 dice.
Yes.
3, 4, 4.
3, 4, and 4 on feelings, so that is 3 successes. As you do so, that would be a critical success. And so both of the beetles immediately stop, along with Venus and Plasma. They all turn towards you, as well as the beetle on the ground who's like clutching its chest with a laser wound. And then they all sort of start to gather around you for a wee therapy session.
Okay, so I sit on the ground and I cross my legs. And kind of like use the robotic kind of springs in them to like tie them into a wee bow, and then I'm like, "Come on, sit down. I feel like you should sit. I feel like we should try and be the same height." I'm assuming they're much taller when they.
Oh yeah, no, they're like really huge beetle dudes. So they sort of sit down as well as they can, sort of stuffed in this corridor with you. And Venus and the Knife, do you join in the therapy circle?
I feel like if I don't, Jimmy will be incredibly annoyed with me. So I just sort of, in a huff, just sort of like cross down, like splat on the floor, and just like huff.
Thank you.
Just to show my annoyance.
Plasma, are you coming?
Of course I am.
The beetles look
If
expectantly.
only because I'm concerned that the beetles will attack us if I don't.
Okay.
I'm here to take care of you guys.
I extend my head to put me kind of at the same height as the beetles. So my body's the same height as these guys, and my head is like extends up to be the same height. Okay. So, I feel like the best way to start is to say your name and tell us a bit about yourself. So, let's start with our new beetle friends. How about you, the one bleeding out?
He goes,
I feel like that's not a name, and I feel like you need to speak up if this is going to work.
He's still clutching the fresh laser wound in his chest. He goes,
Well, I'm assuming he's dead. That was him dying.
no, he's definitely dying.
Oh.
Like, badly. He's got a laser wound in his chest.
Well, I feel like it's really nice to meet you, and I feel like who was it who shot you? Because I feel like they're sorry. I feel like they should say sorry, whoever it was.
His other hand that's not clutching his laser wound weakly points. I mean, he's got like a whole bunch of hands, but he's just pointing one towards Plasma.
Yeah, that was me.
Plasma, what do we say when we shoot someone who's now became a friend?
I am so sorry that I attacked you. I was trying to protect my friends, and I thought that we were in grave danger, and I apologize.
He like shakes his head slowly and outstretches his hand, like reaching towards yours.
I'll take his hand and kind of.
I feel like that's inappropriate. During circle time, we sit apart and we do not connect physically. That is inappropriate. That is for outside of the hive. That is for when we're not inside the hole and that there's been big explosions. We are not in a place for that kind of level of contact yet. Okay? We're not at that level. You should be ashamed of yourself.
The beetle just sort of slowly tips over to the side as he has died.
And see,
the other two seem fine though.
I turn to the other two and I say, I feel like that is a clear demonstration of what it is to die of shame. I feel like you should be ashamed of yourself. And I feel like you guys were also protecting your friends. And I feel like these two should be ashamed. And I feel like I'm the only one who's in the right here. Because I'm the only one who's been logging my feelings in a journal.
Okay, Jimmy, I will have you now roll feelings +1 because you're a psychologist and +1 because you're prepared.
Yes. Laser feelings in a 3.
Laser feelings in a 3, so that's 2 successes and a laser feelings. So what are you going to spend your laser feelings on?
Can I think about that and just see what happens first
Cool.
here?
So the two beetles sort of start crying, the two living ones, a bit. They cry beetle tears. I don't know what those are like, but they do that. And then they sort of one of them uses your shoulder to stand himself up, and in the process you get sort of knocked over, and they wrap their many beetle limbs around each other and have a big hug and a big cry.
I stand up as well, hug them, and I'm going to just ask you as the game master my laser feelings question, which is, tell me about their families.
Well, because insects, they are all birthed from giant piles of eggs and are kind of just raised collectively together as a wonderful communal effort by the other bugs.
Okay, well, I'm more curious about their parentage. Who's the kind of...
Their parentage, the parentage, the hive mother,
Okay.
the multi-insect that births every insect, man, monster alien.
I feel like you guys should tell me about the mother and the hive mother and tell me all about that. And then I think you should tell me where my mummy is. My cousin mummy's on board.
Because I didn't come up with a voice for these beetles, I'm just going to say it. So they tell you that the hive mother is currently in her chamber, which is at the bottom of the ship, looking down at the destruction of the planet below them. And she has the space pirate queen in an adjacent chamber, ready to be for her evil machinations.
Well, I feel like you guys should leave the ship. Because shit's gonna get real.
They both nod solemnly and walk up, and then after a couple of minutes, you hear the fluttering of a spaceship wing.
Well, I feel like I've done my part. That's on to you.
Well, that went well.
You solved my Beetle Dude puzzle with therapy. I don't know what I was expecting going into this game, but that was maybe it. So what are you going to do? So you're on sort of the spiraling down corridor currently.
Well, first I want to turn to Jimmy and I want to say, Jimmy, that was amazingly well done. I am very proud of you. You solved that wonderfully. Thank you for being our friend.
I turn to him and go, meh, guess you did all right.
Dear Diary, I feel like this is the one of many entries today, like every other day, one of the many hundreds I write. I feel like it should be made clear that Plasma's praise for my dealing with the beetles that they shot at was false. No one likes Jimmy. I feel so alone in the universe. I feel such mistrust to everyone. I feel like Venus is the only one who shares her true self with me. But I feel like she does not even realize who she is. I feel like my cousin Mummy is waiting for me and I should stop writing and continue on. Love, Jimmy. P.S. That feels nice to hear. And that, like, the more I do it, the more like buffed my face is getting.
So you sort of all stand up. You put your hand down, and sort of a bit of it goes into a pile of bug goo leaking out of the dead beetle guy. And you sort of go back down this spiraling corridor for the outside of the ship. And you sort of come down, and as you sort of keep going down, eventually you come to a doorway that's like a hexagon panel door built onto the side of the thing. The corridor does keep going down past it, but there is a door on the path.
What do you think, guys? Should we explore the door, or should we keep pressing on?
Well,
I pull out my giant gun, and I'm kind of looking between that and the door.
no, Jimmy. I thought I was the reckless one.
I hand her the gun.
I just take it. I just
yeah, you sort of
can't hold it
under the weight of this giant mini gun rocket launcher laser cannon.
I feel like I should have told you it was heavy.
Thanks.
Cool.
I'm trying to like pick it up off the floor.
Sorry, what was that?
Guys, we could probably just open the door. We probably don't need to blast it down. I'm just saying.
Does the door open at that point, just conveniently?
Do you know what? Sure. At that point,
on the sensor, so just one of the steps slightly closer. As you
start to aim the big laser cannon at the door, it's just it like splits in 8 and goes into the wall, and then inside you see it looks like a cafeteria. Almost with like the big long tables with the stools either side, and then inside it there's these like ants. They've got like really big ant people, so like vertical standing ants with the massive like butt parts. I don't know what they're called. I should have probably looked it up. The giant butt parts, and they're sort of walking up and down the line sort of empty at the moment, picking up the used trays and dishes that were filled with sort of some weird green concoction and putting them onto carts. They're also wearing aprons.
I feel like Plasma, you should maybe take a bit more lead, because you like seem to have good ideas, and I feel like that could have been a disaster. So I feel like you should maybe, take the captain's role. Maybe. Well, I never said it.
Also, would you like your gun back? Seeing as I can't pick it up, so. There you
Of
are.
course I would, Venus. And I snatch it off her, and I kind of give her a look of, for sake. Imagine needing to ask kind of look.
All right. Well, I think we should press on. I don't think we need to disturb these ants. They're very clearly hard at work. Let's head on down and see if we can find the queens.
Cool.
Could I kill them all with the BFG?
Roll lasers to determine your. That seems like a fairly calculating move.
3.
That would be a failure. You have no idea. You run your the actual mathematic processor of your robot brain does not work as well as the feelings processor.
Oh god, it's happened again. Quick.
Oh, Jimmy's on the fritz.
We don't have an engineer. Oh.
And then
I'm
as
a doctor. I'm not an android doctor.
I swing side to side as a jitter and malfunction.
And hold the massive laser gun.
Yeah, if it hits anything, it hits anything. I don't know. I'm just kind of.
Meanwhile, he's dropped his journal. I'm just sort of pick it up. Oh, keep that for later. Put it in my pocket.
You guys can do anything to help the malfunctioning Jimmy Star Sparkle.
I wasn't planning on attacking the ants. But I mean, as a doctor, I feel like it's my responsibility to see if I can try and help him and fix him.
Yeah, sure. I'll say to repair the robot will be lasers, and because you're a doctor, you can have 2d6.
Oh, 5 and a 4. That's not good.
Yes, that's a failure. So as you go over to Jimmy, you sort of try and open up his back panel to access his wiring to try and get back together. And as you sort of move 2 wires, the BFG fires, and this massive red laser beam comes out of it and splits a couple of these ants just clean in half down the middle as he sort of swings back and forth with it. And you've wasted one of your shots from it as you sort of bisected these ants.
I feel like
you
the calculation,
gasps.
Since the calculation part's over, since it's just been fired, I would probably revert back.
At this point, you hear screaming coming from the room in front of you, Jimmy. You see the smoking barrel in your hand, and the corpse is on the floor.
Pass it to Venus. and then
Again.
I just reach to the panel and just like.
The doors just the door kind of closes as you hear more. The panic inside intensifies.
Just at the point where I make eye contact with like one of the child ants that are there for go to work day. I'm just like, ew. That's going to leave a mark on your psyche. Boop.
Yeah.
Once the doors have closed, I'm just sort of try as hard as I can to just pass the gun back. I am not your assistant, okay? Just stop.
I feel like that's a good idea. I should write that. My journal.
You're looking for something?
I will kill you. I point the BFG at her. I will kill you. I feel like you should give me that back.
Meanwhile, I pull out one of the.
I'm just gonna kind of reluctantly let Plasma take the gun off me, and then I'm going to take the quill and point it at Venus. Oh no, not the quill, just like a laser pen. Since I left the quill on the ship,
a future space pen.
Oh, what's the matter? You don't have your quill anymore.
That was a present from my cousin Daddy. And
sure, you can get another one.
I hate those words together.
I feel
every time you say them,
I feel like you should give me back my journal. I feel like this is bullying, and I feel like I can report you to the captain when he's awake. I feel betrayed.
And just to get him to stop making so much noise, I'm like, oh, fine, you're gonna draw attention to us. So I
Instantly-
With the
reluctantly,
BFG.
Instantly stop.
yeah.
As soon as I get it, I just.
Is your mental health restored?
Dear Diary, I feel like Venus, and I read this one out, I feel like Venus is a massive pain in the butt. Venus stinks, and I feel like Venus should know she sucks. Love, Jimmy. P.S. It feels good to hear that. Kiss, kiss.
Meanwhile, I'm just sort of standing there going,
I just press on, leaving the gun and plasmas
Okay.
hands, and just I kind of cross my arms
so
like.
can Plasma hold it? I'm the only one. I'm just too weak.
Plasma, I kind of get the vibe. She's got some amount of like strength, but it's still really heavy.
Yeah, you're struggling.
Jimmy, come take this gun or I'm leaving it behind.
And then I turn back and I just storm past Venus again, looking away.
Yeah, you sassily strut down the corridors of this ship, and around what you estimate to be around 90 degrees around the ship further, you see another hexagonal door panel.
Jimmy definitely, even though he's an android, definitely thinks it's nearer like we've walked 360 degrees 500 times. He has no concept of math. or angles.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm sort of judging along behind him, like, oh, come on, just get this over with now. I'm sort of wandering along behind Plasma, like, great, okay.
Cool. So you come past this second hexagonal door panel. What are you going to do?
Is there another door on the other side?
So if it's a single spiral path, go down and you've sort of gone 90 degrees round from the last door you saw, you're a bit lower down and you can see this next hexagonal door.
Boop. I'm going to open it.
It opens into a dark room illuminated at the back by a single pink light. And then sort of below that you see a sort of circular bed like with lovely pink sheets on it and like rose petals scattered.
Do the other two see this? Is it just me?
I mean, all three of you would see it if you're there.
We're all there now.
Yeah, you all see it.
Together. Is there anything to search, like any cabinets or anything?
And that's just what you see from the doorway. You can go in and search more if you would like.
Should we just sort of reach in and see if we can find any lights? Any lights?
Yeah, so you sort of reach in and like rub your hand along the side. You don't feel any lights, but you do feel something a bit sticky.
I'm hoping that's honey, man.
As you step in, Kiss from a Rose plays dramatically in the background.
Jimmy like stands at the doorway as the two of them go do whatever they're going to do and just starts making these kind of noises. Just kind of like... And
Jimmy, you're not helping.
I feel like that doesn't matter. I feel like the joke was more important. I feel like, look at this scenario. And then I step into the room.
Cool. As finally the three of you enter, sort of climbing down from the roof into under the pink light, you see an especially sexy praying mantis woman. Who's around sort of 9 foot tall with the like folded in arms and all the mandibles on the face, but like really like with like the bug eyes, and they stare at you kind of flirtily, give you a cheeky wink.
Jimmy turns around and leaves the room. He just drops the gun and just leaves the room.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's a good plan. I know what happens with mantises after.
I close the door as soon as I'm out.
Hey!
You close the door. The two of you, you sort of Plasma comes right up to the door and just closes in her face. Venus, what are you going to do about the sexy praying mantis woman?
Inside, I'm like, oh shit, wrong costume. And then I sort of awkwardly turn and slowly make my way to the door as I'm seeing it close. I'm like,
As you're sort of standing there at the door, you hear her like bug legs rattle along the ground behind you.
Oh, we're in trouble.
And then, like, just one of the claws sort of goes over your shoulder, sort of rubbing you essentially with the chest, with with like the barbs on it as well. So it's kind of fairly uncomfortable and actually painful.
I just slap it and go, no. Mm-mm. I don't even know you
Consent is
yet.
important.
It like tilts its head and goes, yeah.
At that, hearing consent is important. Jimmy opens the door again and is like, I feel like somebody's needing a refresher on the sexual harassment guidelines of the workplace. I feel like you, mantis thing, need to sit in that bed and tone it down. Come on.
Jimmy, roll feelings.
Therapy session, take 2.
One.
The mantis seems very aware of the sexual harassment guidelines as part of her work, and is unhappy with this current situation, and sort of with lightning speed reaches out her 2 giant sort of arm claws and grabs you by the shoulders and starts to pull you closer, attempting to eat your head. What does everyone else want to do?
Well, I feel as though I can't shoot a gun because I'm just can't for some reason. My aim's just completely off. So I'm gonna take my helmet off that I've got for the B, and it's actually one of those American football helmets that's just rock hard. I'm just sort of gonna chuck it at the mantis to see whether it'll hit him, just sort of disorientate.
We can never try diplomacy first.
Sure. Try roll feelings for that with a single dice, unless you can justify one of your tags.
No. 2. Oh. No.
Okay, so that's below feelings, which is not what you're after. So you throw the helmet, it sort of sails through the room and then hits the far wall and lands on top of the bed.
Does it at least distract her?
No, because you've failed. So she's. I'll give Plasma the Knife a chance to do something before she bites down on Jimmy's head.
I'm gonna try and get her arms off of Jimmy's shoulders.
Okay.
Get him free.
That sounds like feelings, because it's a. And I'll let you use heroic as well for another dice because you're saving your pals.
Thank you. That is 2 3s.
Cool. So that's double laser feelings. So you can ask 2 questions about the current situation.
Oh man.
Jimmy's just kind of ready to die.
He's just accepted his fate.
Jimmy's trying to write in his journal again.
Just like, dear diary, I feel like this could be the end. By a mantis who clearly doesn't understand sexual harassment policy. Eating my head implies that I was a lover, and I am not a lover of this moment or this thing. I feel like this is unwanted attention. Love, Jimmy. P.S.
Okay.
It feels good to hear that. Kiss.
Plasma the Knife, you have your 2 laser feelings.
Yes. I'm wondering if there is a way that we can befriend her and have her help us on our quest.
I think at this point that will be a no, because she has decided to consume Jimmy's robot head.
If we can get away from her, will she at least not follow us?
She will not follow you outside of her chamber, for she lives here.
Okay. All right. That was a double success.
But a double success, so that is a success. Well done, good job. You sort of reach up and you grab the back of the claws which are wrapped around Jimmy, and you pull them up, and sort of a bit of Jimmy's backplate does come off with it. However, Jimmy then falls to the floor away from her.
Can I fall towards the giant minigun cannon and just grab it and shoot?
Okay, roll lasers.
Can I use the fact that I feel particular hatred towards this mantis and use it as a form of expression that I'm firing the gun for an advantage?
I will say that you can be prepared and roll 2d6 for lasers.
That's not a good face.
Grab. Turn. Fire. Miss.
Yeah, you sort of shoot the gun, and the giant laser beam, the second shot of it that you're using, it fires off, ricochets around the room for a second.
Does it just break through the floor into the canteen of ants, killing more of them, and then it's just the wee kid one looking down, and I'm like,
yeah, there's a smoking hole in the roof. The light which sort of descends down majestically, and you see a panicked ant sort of lean its head over.
I feel like that's going to have lifelong consequences for me and that child.
The mantis lady is now annoyed, and she's going to swing her arms out at the knife to sort of like bash you away. What are you going to do?
I want to turn and hightail it out of this room.
Cool. So roll feelings for dramatic escape.
That's a 2.
A 2, so that'll be a fail. So she swats you with her arm as it folds out, and you sort of get flung against the wall of the room. Venus, you haven't done anything in a while.
Right, I think I'm going to try again to just... I'm going to take one of my pistols out. Just really try and aim. I'm prepared.
You're prepared?
Okay.
Okay.
I am prepared this time.
Roll 2d6 for lasers. Yeah, double success. There we go. That's a fail. You take your pistol, and then you shoot, and it goes through the hole that Jimmy made and takes out another ant person.
Oh, God.
The lady will try and wrestle the giant laser cannon off of Jimmy.
Oh no, what Jimmy does is Jimmy stands up and says, I feel like you should take this and like chuck it so that the mantis has to catch it, not knowing its full weight. And then I'm going to use dramatic escape to kind of grab the two of them with like elongated arms and dive out the room.
Say,
Nice.
Roll 2 dice for feelings because you're a robot.
So 2.
2 dice.
I rolled a 6 and a laser feelings. So a 2.
Ooh, so you can ask your laser feelings question.
I'll think about that in a wee second. I'll tell you once.
So you chuck the gun at the praying mantis, who sort of instinctually grabs it, and then her front half drops to the ground as she picks up this incredibly heavy gun. Then both of your arms extendo out and grab the two and sort of dramatically go through the door and close it, smashing the panel to activate it as you exit. You then hear crying coming from the traumatized ants.
Can we please stop traumatizing the ants, you guys?
Does the small child ant who's what is the name of the small child ant that remains probably parentless after this?
I will call them Tuk Tuk.
Tuk Tuk. Okay. Well, now that we're out the room, I make sure to... Boop.
Yeah. Door is sealed. You sort of dramatically leave, and I think this is good time for a break.
Just before that, Jimmy takes out his diary and says, I lost my gun, sad face. He doesn't even write anything else.
Yeah, so we'll call a break there. So that seems an appropriate point to call one, because it's about 8:30 anyway. We'll hop back in about 10-15 minutes with the second half of Lasers and Feelings.
Yay! See you in a few. Jesus. Lewis, watch an episode of Star Trek once in a while. Pickers. Well, that's us back. Hello, everybody. Oh. We're just learning how little Lewis knows about actual sci-fi, so he's doing well considering.
My favourite character's Mock and Pickard.
Oh, dear God. Blasphemy!
He's the one who says, "You shall not pass."
Yeah, that's the guy, isn't it?
Yeah, on the starship.
Yeah,
TARDIS.
he uses the Force in that. I'm getting angry glares. I can feel it.
I've already. No. So many people have said no in the chat.
From across the internet, I feel your hatred. It fuels me.
It's like that Rick meme. I know what makes you clap. Anyway.
Yes. Anyway, we just dealt with a sexy praying mantis woman, and I've escaped back into the corridors. What are you going to do?
I feel like I am going to turn. I am going to basically stretch my arms and my legs into wheels, pop down, and then I'm going to be like, I feel like it's time we speed this up. These bug people really are making me uncomfortable. I guess Plasma,
All right.
you can jump on, and I feel like I guess you can join Venus.
Fine. And just sort of awkwardly just sort of perch on the side. Ugh.
I deliberately weight my entire body weight that side. And then I'm like, oh, sorry, let me just adjust. I'm like, and then I just kind of think back to one of our therapy sessions where I've just implanted the thoughts of making her feel self-conscious about herself. I'm a horrible person.
Abusing your power as a therapist. I am not, as a doctor, I am not impressed.
I feel like it's time to get moving before we think about this too much.
So Jimmy folds his arms and legs into wheels and becomes an awful horse transformer car. As you sort of awkwardly perch on the side of him, he starts to roll down.
I should have said feelings transform. Boop, 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 boop.
Yeah. So you fold up into an awful car horse and drive down the passageways. Another 90 degrees around the building, you find it comes to a dead end with another hexagonal door that leads into a different chamber.
I don't stop. I just keep going.
Well, it goes into a
Oh, it is a dead end.
dead end, yeah.
Where's the door?
So there's the dead end, and then right next to it, on the side, there's the door.
Can I try and do a mad sick skid and turn and go straight into the door?
That sounds like a precise maneuver, but I'll say you are getting a boost from being a robot, so roll lasers.
Single or two?
2, because you're a robot.
I rolled a 4. And I rolled a laser feelings.
So that's a laser. So I'll say you get to the door, but there's a complication. So you turn, sort of skid dramatically, and you go through the door at a bit of a wonky angle.
Mm-hmm.
And as you do so, you sort of bump over the lip of the door, and then all of you are sent tumbling, lying on the ground. And then you get your laser feelings question.
I was going to say, where could I find, not if, where can I find a method to travel through time?
This ship does not have a method of time travel upon it.
But where can I find?
Where could you find such a thing?
Yes, that's the question.
Probably at the home of the science human people, who are kind of like humans, but they're really smart.
Okay.
They have pointy ears, and their leader's called Smock.
I don't know what just happened, but I felt a disturbance in the universe.
Like 1,000 voices crying out in
like
anguish.
Whoever our like god of this universe was, it just got slapped in the back of the head by 1,000 taters. Anyway. Yeah. So,
You reckon if there's anywhere to get time travel, it's there. But the room you're currently in, you sort of turn your heads up from the floor and you see that the bit of the ground you're on, it sort of goes out to a much larger room than the ones you were in previously. This and sort of raised up by a good few stories. There is a higher railing that circles a gigantic door at the far end of the room. Sort of perched on the sort of higher section, you see lots of spiders who are like not even spider people; they're just spiders, and they're like have little divots to point their butts through so they can shoot webs out at people at the ground floor.
Okay.
And they're sort of all perched, staring at you. They all sort of turn and make spider hissing sounds as their like butt web shooters turn towards you. What do you do?
Well, that's disturbing.
I stand back up, throwing they two off.
Yeah, so you're all sort of they get scattered further on the floor. You're standing up. Jimmy Starsparkle.
I just lie on the floor for a second, just for dramatic effect, and just sort of shoot daggers at Jimmy. I'm like, seriously, again?
I feel like the last time this happened, you had used magnets to make me get a little tipsy. So I feel like that was on you.
Only I had magnets this time.
Well, good thing that I do. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I pull out a bag of magnets, wave them like contraband. When they get close to me, I kind of feel the fuzz, and I'm like, oh, that way.
I will say it. That's due to the tomfoolery. Some of the spiders will fire their butt webs at you, and you all sort of get covered in a layer of webbing that sort of coats you, starts to pin you to the ground.
Good job, you guys. Get us all webbed. Can't stop your fighting for 5 seconds, can you?
Or maybe if
Plasma.
you'd stopped us.
Yeah, Plasma. I feel like it's your fault this time. High five, Venus, and then I kind of like reach out my hand kind of awkwardly from being stuck to myself.
Just sort of awkwardly like shuffle away from him. As far as I can go.
Oh. I'm just kind of still reaching, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, so you're sitting there, coated in webs. One of the spiders scuttles off and goes through a secret passageway that's sort of built into the wall, and you're still sort of trapped by webs as the other spiders watch you with their many eyes.
Because I'm an explorer, I've been in this situation before. I've had a lot of experience with spider webbing, and so I'm gonna get out of it by just sort of awkwardly shimmying, like very dramatically shimmying my way upwards out of the spider webbing.
Cool. I will say that you're an adventurer and you're prepared. So that's 3 6-sided dice, and I will say this will be feelings.
Can I help by giving her some kind of what do you call it? Limbo music. Like just like a record inside my head just kind of goes. That's strictly.
Sure.
But
That's sure.
It's still shimmying. It's still
Okay,
shimmying.
so that'll be 4 6-sided dice on feelings due to Jimmy's music choices.
2 4s and a 3 and a 2. So I've got.
So that's 2 successes and a laser feelings.
Yep.
What do you want to know for laser feelings?
Where did that spider go?
That spider has gone to report to its immediate superior.
Ooh.
As you sort of wriggle out of the spider webbing, you are now free, but the other spiders now start to take aim with their butts to shoot you with more webs.
Well, we'll look at the other two and go, well, are you going to start shimmying or not? And then I grab my pistol, but clearly because I can't fire them, I'm going to use it as a boomerang to try and knock one of the spiders out. So,
Cool.
and it will
So
come back to me.
that sounds like rolling. I'll say you're prepared to do this. So that'll be 2d6 on feelings.
A 3 and a 5.
That's
So
the laser
Okay,
feeling.
so a laser feelings again. So you have a laser feelings question. You can hold it to after you do the
While
boomerang.
that's happening, I'm like, I just kind of turn to Plasma and I'm like, I feel like it would be useful if we remembered how we managed to flood the ship that one time we had that party. How did we do that again, Plasma? What? I know I was off my nut on magnets and you had a few of those space cosmopols or whatever it was you were drinking.
Galactic
Yeah.
Gargle Blaster.
There we go.
That's an actual reference to a thing. I get correct.
Yeah, let me tell you, those suckers are strong. I don't remember a whole lot from that night. Wasn't there some sort of machine that was like generating? I don't remember.
Roll lasers to remember.
Also, remember Venus's turn. I was just filling in the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Venus. Well, as you roll, Venus takes you take your gun and you boomerang it, and like it hits one of the spiders in the head. It goes, falls backwards, and then the gun continues flying down, and it
Nice.
swings back down. You dramatically catch it. Plasma, what did you roll?
She's also got a laser question.
Oh yeah, got a laser feelings question.
Ooh. How many of the spiders are there?
How many spiders? There is 3 spiders currently still conscious,
Awesome.
or here. One is left. One is unconscious due to boomerang gun.
And one's left, so there's 3 left.
Yes.
Between
So
those two.
Plasma, the knife.
I rolled laser feelings.
Cool. So since you got laser feelings, I'll say that the question was how did you flood the ship that one time, and it was someone found a way to clog the space toilet, and that led to all the space toilet water sort of leaking out and filling half the ship. Darcy was not happy about this.
We thought it was fabulous.
That was quite possibly the angriest you've ever seen anyone ever.
Can I see any space toilets in the room?
You could roll. I'll say roll lasers to perceive space toilets. And I'll say you can have an extra d6 for being helped by the reminder that it's space toilets.
I see nothing.
Great. You find no space toilets. The spiders will sort of re-aim their butt ropes at you, and at Venus, because she's the only one who's actually out the webs at this point. So Venus, what are you going to do to try and avoid the butt ropes?
I'm going to use my awesome exploring and adventure skills to do some somersaulting out the way, because I'm just really agile.
Okay, cool. That'll be
The only thing I can do.
That'll be 2d6 for feelings.
A 3 and a 5.
3 and a 5. That's great. So that's a laser feelings as well. So you start sort of cartwheeling and tumbling dramatically as these webs fly past you in slow motion. It's like the Matrix or something. As you sort of majestically dodge through all of these webs, this web of webs. And then as you land, you can have a laser feelings question.
How far away is the pirate queen?
She is on this floor of the ship somewhere, at the bottom floor.
Cool.
Okay, while she's doing all of that, I'm going to be shimmying out of my webs because I saw how she did it, and I'm replicating her movements.
Okay, since you are replicating her movements, that sounds like you're using reason, so I'm going to say lasers.
Because I've helped her with the...
You can have an additional d6 to help.
Thank you. Let's see. 6 and a 2.
So that's one success. So you succeed at what you're doing. So I'm going to say that you sort of get all the way out, but both of your boots are still stuck in the webbing as you sort of crawl out and are lying on the ground. So you don't have your cool space boots.
take my space pen, kind of jump round on the spot, and in my hand start scratching a very angry note that says, "Dear Spider Mama, your children are being little shits, and I would like it if you made them stop. Love, Jimmy. P.S." Feels good to hear that, doesn't it? P.S.S. Jimmy, I love you. It feels nice. Kiss, kiss. And I make sure that I'm doing it in such a way where it's loud enough that the spiders can hear that I'm doing it and can hear the words I'm writing.
Okay, let's antagonize them.
Roll for feelings with 2 dice, I guess.
Yes! We got a 3 and a 2.
Okay, so that's a laser feelings. You will succeed, and you also get a question.
Well, what happens first while I think my question?
So the spiders that remain suddenly become conflicted because they don't want their spider mum to find out. Because they're all brothers. It's a bit like Christmas dinner is already a bit awkward. Space Christmas, where they say thanks to Space Jesus, and it's a bit awkward already. So they just decide to I don't want mum to find out, so they decide to not shoot you with their butt ropes anymore.
What is the quickest way to get to the time travel device?
You'd have to go off of this ship by acquiring a new ship, and then you'd have to fly through the faster than light hyperspace reality warp hole fast machine to the Malkin planet and their leader Schmock, and get their time travel device.
Cool. So I've shamed the spiders into
into submission. You are still, however, covered in webs. And I'm going to say at this point, the 2 giant doors at the far end of the chamber dramatically force themselves open towards you, and a giant scorpion creature appears. It's kind of like the Rock at the end of the Mummy movie, where he's like a centaur but a scorpion, and then also really awful CGI.
Yeah, I feel like it's not rendering properly. Can we pause and refresh?
As it sort of scuttles through the room, it pauses dramatically and holds a claw up as a microphone descends. Can you smell? And you know where that goes. And as it says that, what you're going to do, as it's like spends way too long showboating before it actually does anything.
I turned around to Jimmy. I go, listen, I know you're made out of metal, but can you just have some movement in your body, please? Just to shimmy out. Listen, I will give you dance lessons, okay? When we're out of this. But for me, can you just get out of this now? As much as I want to leave you there, I feel like we need all 3 of us. Start shimmying.
I just used the pen to cut straight through it, easy peasy. And I'm like, I could have done it the whole time, sort of look like
okay.
I'm a robot.
Yeah, roll feelings plus robot, so 2d6. Unprepared.
A 1 and a 5.
Cool. I'll also say prepared because.
Oh, an extra dice.
Yeah, because I'm nice like that.
And a 6. So a 6, 5, and a 1.
So 2 successes. So you take your pen and you sort of easily cut out of the butt rope and step forward as the scorpion guy dramatically finishes, "What the scorpion is cooking," and it turns towards you and it starts to scuttle.
Cut! I feel like we need to take that take again, guys. And then I kind of went to the 2, and I'm kind of like, I feel like you did great there, but I feel like you could have gave it a bit more oomph, you know? I want to convince him that he's in a movie set.
Okay. Roll feelings.
Yes.
And help him out to be like, hey, let's come on, guys, let's reset the lights. Let's get those booms in order. Let's get ready to shoot this again.
Sorry, I think the scorpion needs to go back to hair and makeup.
Do I get extra rolls for those?
I will say that'll be 2 helps.
By the way, I rolled a laser feelings already.
Oh, nice.
A 3 and a 5.
to 5. So that's 3 successes. That's a critical success and a laser feelings question.
Right, I'll ask the laser feelings question in a wee minute. I'm going to try and think of it.
Okay, so the scorpion guy stops his forward move and goes,
Let,
and then he like turns around and scuttles back through the door and closes it behind him.
Stop a wee thing. Come here. Look, I feel like you should be proud of yourself. You're doing great. We've got through all the movies so far, and it's been great. We had that cool explosion earlier on. Oh wait, I'm just describing the bits you weren't in. I feel like, maybe get your act together. I feel like you need to sort yourself before I get these two to get security and get you Rex, son. Okay? I feel like you need to sort it. I feel like it's important for you to get your head into the performance because I feel like this isn't good enough, and I feel like if it keeps going this way, you should just eject yourself off the ship straight into space. Land on another ship, get one, and bring it to me, and make sure it's got FTL travel, please, because I very much need that soon. Thank you.
Okay. Roll feelings. just a single feeling.
Can I also use my psychology, being a psychologist?
Sure,
to
yeah. I'll
tap
let
into his
that.
insecurities?
Sure.
Another laser feelings.
Uh-huh.
And a 4. So a 2
Okay.
and a 4.
So what's your laser feelings question?
So I know I need FTL. What's the easiest way to save my cousin mummy, the pirate queen?
Sorry, I feel physical pain every time you put those two words.
Just tell me how to
adjacent
save
each
my
other.
cousin mummy.
You'll have to, first of all, locate her within the ship. Then, second of all, rescue her.
No, I mean, but what's the
you'll-
easiest way of achieving that, though?
You'll probably have to take out the hive mother queen who has kidnapped her. And then she'll probably be able to. Then after that, it'll be smooth sailing back out of the ship.
My robotum programming just feels, I wasted that question. Should have asked something wiser.
At this, the rock scorpion sort of like he stops closing the door halfway through, pulls his claws up to his face and starts weeping, and he sort of scuttles away around the corner to have a bit of a cry.
If I don't hear that you ejecting and you getting me that ship, you'll never work again in this industry. I feel like I should be hearing you eject about now.
I feel like David's venting about his acting experiences.
I don't hear any ejecting here, Scorpion Boy. Guys, I feel like you should call security. I feel like we need to get this dealt with.
You now at this point you hear a door sort of open and then another close again.
Well, I feel like that somehow resolved itself.
Maybe you're good for something for once. Yay!
Jimmy's strongest weapon, emotional trauma.
That's Jimmy. Plasma, I feel like you should maybe lead us ahead, because I'm a wee bit scared that we're not going to save my cousin Mammy. And I feel like I can't let down my cousin Daddy. You know?
I hate it. I hate it. I hate it so much.
How do we do it, Plasma?
Well, those doors are so large, I'm fairly certain that's the way to the Queen's chamber, so we either go in and try diplomacy or you go in guns blazing.
I feel like I'll trust your
Maybe
judgment.
diplomacy.
What? I never thought I'd hear that from you, Venus.
I've just realised that I'm not a good shot, so as much as I love going in all guns blazing, maybe for this one, I'll let you go first.
While this is happening and you're saying all that, I've just took out my magnets and I'm just kind of tapping them on your head to see if, like, I can fix whatever's wrong with you. I feel like she's malfunctioned.
whilst you're doing that, I just quickly just sort of grab it from you.
I feel like
One of your magnets.
fine.
I'm
Keep
just
it.
like, seriously?
I mean, look, it's not my fault. I'm not a biological doctor. I'm a psychologist. I'm all about the feelings. That's doctor biology there. I don't understand your weird, freakish alien biology. I sit my little like static bag that I keep them in, wrap it up, and put it back in my pocket. Cross my
I
arms
just
and turn
put
my back.
one of his magnets in my pocket. Save
Your-
it for later.
Your
All
space
right, if
zip
you
lock.
two are quite done, let's go ahead and get through these doors and see what happens.
Yes, Plasma.
Okay, so you all go through the door of the giant wooden doors that swung open, and as you come into this next chamber, you see the path splits two ways and also continues straight forward.
Wait, wooden doors?
No, like the big wooden doors that were like the big dramatic like swinging doors that the rock scorpion came through.
Oh, okay.
You go through those, which you don't know why they're there, and you see sort of two paths either side of you, and then one straight on ahead.
I feel like the decor of this place is just mismatched and really poorly
Huh.
planned, you know? I feel like they should fire the decorator because the architecture... Why is there wooden doors? This is like the 45,000 millennium. Huh.
Most of it is like orange and made out of honeycomb, and it's like a bit squishy, but there's just this giant set of dramatic wooden doors.
Which
Anyway,
one?
so three paths: forward, left, right.
I look to the other two for answers.
Should we shake on it? Just rock, paper, scissors. See who's going to choose.
I mean, if we three-way play, then it's not exactly going to work, you know? I've got the math thing in my brain because I'm a robot. I don't really because I'm bad at the math, but still. I feel like you two should compete and make a decision.
I think it's Plasma. Plasma needs to do the decision, considering that after all this time, she's made the best decision so far. So over to you, Plasma. Enjoy the decision.
All right, so I'm going to close my eyes and spin myself around and just point and see which corridor it lands on.
Okay, I'm going to roll a dice to determine that, I guess, unless you want to.
I'm going to aid her in the spinning. I'm just going to sort of keep her in the centre.
Okay, I'll roll again then. So you land on the door straight ahead of you.
All right, guys, we're going this way.
Okay. We
Follow behind
continue
you.
on. How long's
So
the
you can-
corridor?
The corridor, longish.
Is it long enough for us to have a wee chat, the three of us?
Sure. I'll allow it.
As we kind of start walking, I'm like, I feel like we've made it this far, and I feel like I should say here, you guys don't need to go any further. I feel like this is my duty. It's my cousin Mammy in there that we're trying to save, and I feel like putting you at risk. Just, you know, I feel like I'm going to say something that I'm going to regret, but I feel like I need to. I care about you guys. Sparks come off this time as I do it.
Well, that was a surprise.
I feel like you should stay here.
I think the magnets are beginning to get to his brain.
They're still in the pouch. They're okay.
You've already taken them out there a few times. It's just enough to get you tipsy.
If you at home are suffering from severe magnet addiction, please seek help.
I mean,
Jimmy, that is a wonderful, selfless gesture, but as the heroic doctor that I am, I can't possibly let you face the danger by yourself. I have to be able to support you in finding your cousin Mommy and returning her to your cousin Daddy. Sorry, Lewis.
I feel like
feel
that's.
like
Oh, sorry. No, you go, Peter. I feel like you should.
I
say
was
yourself.
trying to show you my feelings, but
No,
I think you cutting me off has just shown me show me how much I just don't need to show my feelings to you. But I will continue on this quest with you because I feel like I am a key part of this team. So you just can't leave me behind. I mean, who is going to keep you in check?
I feel like those answers were exactly what I was hoping for. Thank God. On you go. And I kind of push them ahead of me. Making sure
Manipulated by a psychology robot.
and I make sure to stay like a good 10 feet behind them.
In this corridor, which from like the establishing shot looked way shorter, you go along it, experiencing the exact kind of inter-character roleplay I look for as a dungeon master. And you come to this next hexagonal door, which is also wooden, but like the doors you saw before, but it's like a hexagon entrance. It's weird, and you hate it.
Boop. I push the button.
And then it like slides away like it did before. In this room, you look in and you see at the far back of it there is a circular stage upon which there is various monk people playing a sort of old-fashioned bluegrass style set. There's like a guy with a banjo and like a big double bass, like a guy with a washboard, and they're all mosquitoes.
Kind of feel like we should all start square dancing right now.
I let my arm come all the way back to me, back 10 feet where I'm behind them, because obviously they're 10 feet ahead, so I just reached all the way past them to push the button.
I wondered about that.
Yeah.
I feel like I start dancing because clearly I have the most experience of dance out of the three of us, and I encourage Plasma to get in, but because Jimmy's made of metal, he can't dance because apparently they're just not able to. So it's very sad for them, and I've tried to teach him, but sadly it just hasn't worked. He's just got no sense of the music.
just Jimmy, who's really
no matter
awful
what the tune is, that's just what he does. It's like a really weird out of key robot.
Yeah, so there's this like mosquito talking about they're like in the dungarees, like the straw hats.
Nice.
And like as you sort of come in and start dancing, they start having like a wee jam with you. They like start playing a bit faster. They don't even question the fact that none of you are punk people. They're just having a vibe.
I half fit in because I'm still in my bee costume, so kind of. They're just questioning about their heads, but I tell them I've got a mask on.
The guy playing the banjo, the mosquito playing the banjo, just starts shredding it. It's incredible. It's an engaging performance, the likes of which you haven't seen before.
We continue dancing sort of further across, and whilst we're there, we're talking to the mosquitoes. So, where's the bug queen? Where is she?
Yeah, go back that way, and then to your. I think the whole band stops for a second.
I feel like you should just answer, and then you should play that banjo fast enough to go FTL speed, because that's how that works, right?
And he starts playing faster and faster, like his fingers literally catch fire from the speed at which he is playing this
grab
banjo.
the banjo off him. Before you destroy it, I feel like it's important that I keep this.
And then he realizes his whole hand is now just literally burning. He goes, "Oh!"
At this point, I pick up the nearest drink and just sort of chuck it at him, but it sort of misses and just gets in the face.
And he like in his giant compound bug eyes, and he like quickly runs backstage to try and resolve his hand that's on fire. At this point, the other two members, the drummer, the washboard guy, the double bass player, all kind of look at each other. All right, they put their instruments down and walk back, try and fix their pal's hand.
As a doctor, I feel like it's my responsibility to go back there and try and help him.
I feel like you should try and get answers from them as well. I'm going to practice the banjo.
As a robot who cannot keep time in the slightest, your banjo playing sounds atrocious, and you break like 3 of the strings almost instantly.
I would actually like to try hard to learn the banjo.
I've got a banjo over here. Do you want me to send it to you through the internet?
No, I mean for Jimmy to try and play the.
So I would say roll 1 dice of feelings.
5.
5. So you roll your. So you do good. So you're playing the banjo, and the rare malfunction included in your build of someone accidentally including a banjo card in your processing unit allows you to very quickly pick up the banjo.
Okay. I just
can
open my
play-
stomach and put it in like Bender. Seal it.
Cool. You steal an entire banjo. Plasma, you're heading backstage to try and help the boss Mosquito Man's hand.
Yes.
We sort of go back and they're sort of crowded around a sink in a bathroom running it under some cold water. The whole band is in there at the same time.
Meanwhile, I'm out at the front trying to keep everybody dancing so people don't get suspicious, because clearly Jimmy is
You were
miraculously playing the banjo, so I'm keeping it going.
You were the only people in the room other than them when you first
Oh,
entered.
right.
It's just you two now.
However, at this point,
Still dancing.
a group of the fly people sort of buzz in and find a table at the far end of the room because there's tables in it now, and sort of sit down and sort of like bobbing their head to the wonderful banjo performance of Jimmy. So Plasma, you're backstage with the group of people with the mosquito guys with the burnt hand.
Hey fellas, I'm a doctor. Let me help out. Do you guys have a first aid kit anywhere?
Bzz, bzz.
That's helpful. Okay, do I have any medical supplies on me? I feel like I would have carried like a medical bag going in here because I don't know what the heck we're gonna face.
And also Jimmy.
I'm looking at the equipment lists, which is universal, and it does not have in a heat medikit. I'll say you could roll lasers to try and find a.
I'm going to also offer a advantage dice on that because she knows that Jimmy's there and she knows that Jimmy has a nasty habit of causing Venus to get hurt.
Sure.
By accident.
Yeah.
I will let you roll 2 laser dice to try and find the first aid kit.
I've got a 6 and a 2.
So that is 1 success. So you find eventually a healer, like a first aid kit, but it's like half empty. They didn't restock it properly.
Of course they didn't. All right, I'm looking for some basic ointment and some bandages.
Yeah, it's got like some. It's not got like enough for like a whole hand, but it's got like some.
So I'll take what there is and put it on the worst areas.
Yeah,
and
sort of like. So you wrap up this this mosquito guy's hand. He's like, I don't think I'll ever play banjo again.
Meanwhile, I'm just getting
space
more
ointment
and more.
is pretty good stuff. I think we're going to see some pretty miraculous healing out of this. And insects, man, you guys are tough. I know you can pull through this.
Roll feelings for emotional support.
3.
Cool. That's laser feelings. So he feels emotionally supported. What's your laser feeling question?
Were these guys being honest with us that we should turn left at the base of the corridor?
They aren't entirely sure, as they have a poor sense of direction, much like me.
But they weren't deliberately trying to mislead us.
They weren't trying to mislead you. At this, they go, well, thanks for fixing our hand. However, we are going to have to go kill that person now.
Oh, that's not good.
They sort of like their wings spread out a little bit. They start to buzz and they start to sort of push past you out of this bathroom that you're in with them.
I'm going to run past them and go out and warn Jimmy. Hey, Jimmy, these guys are after you.
I feel like they should explain to me why. While I play my thick tunes on the banjo.
The one song written for banjo.
I mean, that's the one song that Jimmy knows. is the one that's the
dueling
FPL sound.
banjos. Do 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 do
So,
whatever.
Um,
Yeah. So as you're sort of jamming on the banjo, the four mosquito dudes come out and they look at you. They sort of like limber up a wee bit, like they're going to come beat you up for nicking their banjo as well.
I feel like you should explain why you're going to kill me or whatever. Plasma
That's my
one.
that's my banjo. You can't take my banjo.
I'm just playing so that the people have got something to listen to while you fix up. Don't you worry, son. Jeez, I feel like you're paranoid. I feel like you never got hugged enough as a child or something.
You're playing the same four notes over and over again. Give me my banjo back.
I want to play so hard that the music shoots them back in tons of... Actually, I want to strum a note so hard that it causes them all to explode.
Okay. Roll feelings.
Yes, and I am strumming with a passionate
I will say you can have robot because you have a banjo chip.
But I'm truly expressing my anger through music, which is my goal, is to truly express myself. So do I get an extra?
Sure.
So is that that's 3?
That's 3 for feelings.
Three ones.
So you sort of reach up to do this powerful strum, and you manage to break all 5 strings and punch a hole in the drum of the banjo. As you basically just punch straight down into it.
And then I go, that was deliberate, because I feel like I had to demonstrate
and
that
then one
it's
of
just
them
a piece of wood and it's
punches you straight in the mouth. Right in your robot face.
See, because it's like on my fist, the thing, I just kind of flick the end of it so that the bit with the, I don't know, the tuners,
the
neck,
the
yeah,
head.
I flick the head of it so that the head will swing round and whack the tuners into his head.
Sure, roll feelings.
5.
5, cool. You swing it round, it bashes this mosquito guy in the back of the head. He sort of rocks back, holding his head. He's not unconscious, but he looks in pain. There's still the other 3, however, which start to flutter.
I feel like
the
that
wings.
was rude.
And then the flies at the other end of the room get up and they like close off the door and shut it off.
All right, so while Jimmy's dealing with all of this, I'm like running over to his side and pulling out my gun and like threatening the other mosquitoes, like, "You leave my friend alone!"
Okay, that sounds threatening. So roll feelings, and I'll say you can have heroic.
Yep. Oh, 1 out of 5.
So rolling feelings, so that's 1 success. I will say the one who's been hit in the head sort of backs up a bit, but the other 3 don't look bothered. They're like,
Meanwhile,
yeah, we're gonna let's go. Yeah.
Meanwhile, out of the corner of my eye, I see these 2 flies getting up to close the door. So I again get my pistol as a boomerang again, because that's the only thing it's good for. And I throw it as hard as I can towards the control panel of the door to break it before they can close the door.
Okay, so I will say roll feelings, and I will say you can have prepared because you are now you have your boomerang pistols, I guess.
2 3s.
2 3s.
Yeah.
So that's double laser feelings. So you chuck the boomerang out, and it hits the control panel, and then just bounces back and catch it in your hand as the 2 flies look over at you. What are you going to ask for your 2 laser feelings questions?
Oh. Is there anywhere to get a new banjo?
Yes. So, somewhere in the universe, there is a place to acquire a new banjo.
Is there somewhere on this ship that you can get a new banjo quickly?
No. That was the only banjo on this ship. like the cruise ship entertainment. Like there's like this is like they tour with this place all the time. So that's just two laser feelings. Jimmy, you were gonna say something.
I just take the banjo off and then I just start beating them to death in a fit of rage because Jimmy he just feels sick of these stupid, insignificant bugs everywhere, just constantly getting in the way of him trying to get to his cousin mummy.
You said the accursed words.
But it's just how I feel, how he feels.
The accursed
So
words.
what am I rolling?
So roll for feelings, and I'll give you 2 dice.
Two laser feelings, 2 twos. After
Okay, so
the
that's a
3 ones, 2
success.
twos.
So you take this banjo that's mostly broken at this point, and then you just descend on this group of guys. And it's like one of those cool fight scenes where it's just like one guy he beats up like all of the people at the same time.
In my head, it's just like they don't even get a chance to swing at him. It just kind of squashes them like actual bugs, and then when their pace just keeps bashing, and it's like, I feel like you didn't let me express myself.
So you mash these guys into fine gooey paste with your banjo, at which point the banjo will be completely destroyed because it's only wooden.
Hey, Jimmy, they're dead, dude. It's okay. Calm down. Deep breath.
I
Breath.
turn and look at whoever's left in the room.
There's the pair of flies by the door who will take their chance to leave.
Cool.
They sort of buzz flying down the corridor.
And then my 2 questions are going to be is one, where exactly from our position to cousin mummy, pirate queen?
As you watch the flies go, they turn left and go that way, which is where you assume the thing is, because they heard you talking about your cousin mummy. I think
I'm not looking to assume. I want to know exactly what is from here to there. So is it just down, that corner down, left, and then that's us at cousin mummy?
No.
Okay, and then my next question is, how do I get an instant kill on the hive queen person? Because there's totally going to be a way.
So the first step is you have to shrink down to be small enough to be entirely small in a single, like just to fit inside their body, and then you need to grow.
Oh, we're losing you, Lewis.
Man and Thanos.
All I heard was Thanos.
I'm going to stop the video.
Not me. I'm the important one. But do you know how
cut off your video again?
Ant-Man was going to beat Thanos.
Yeah, basically, right. But I mean, is that the only way to do it?
That would be a
I'm looking
guaranteed way to get an instant.
Yeah, kill. But what's the way that I can achieve? Is what I'm asking. We've lost you. Well, I'm gonna
just to determine if that's the.
Nope.
Right.
The only way
I'm going to
fix that.
Start walking, and then when he fixes, we'll. Right, we missed all of that. Sorry.
Okay, so I don't have the boundless creativity of you people. So if you there will be ways to instant kill it if you're creative enough and get enough successes. I don't have the boundless creativity of you people to come up with all of the different ways that this person could potentially die immediately.
Okay, well, I just start walking
Okay.
And I just say, I feel like you should follow me. And I take my falling apart banjo and just kind of start using the legs of... I grab some of the legs of the flies that have been killed as I go to try and make new strings and put it back together as I charge out. I also take out my magnets.
Roll lasers to make a banjo out of dead insect legs.
A 1 one.
Great. So you make a
This-
3-stringed, but like you take out like the strings from like inside, like using their muscle fibers,
Yeah.
and you make
Oh my god.
a like having restrung a banjo before. It's hell, and it's kind of broken, but with a bit of robot ingenuity, you manage to get a 3-string-ish banjo
That's all I need.
operational.
That's enough to play my notes.
Cool.
So,
What
knowing
do
that
other
I've got my
people do?
3-string banjo, I'll lead these guys to exactly how to get to Cousin Mummy.
I'll just sort
Down
of
to the
follow
left.
along, going, does he really, I'm talking to Plasma, does he really need this banjo? How is it going to help? He thinks
Well,
he can play it.
He did try to use it to destroy the mosquitoes, so I think this may be part of his plan for the Hive Queen. I'm a little bit concerned about this.
He does realise that mosquitoes are different to hive queens. That there's slightly different levels. So might be a bit tricky with a banjo.
Yeah, I'm definitely concerned about this situation.
I'm tempted to just let him go and just see what he comes up with. Just sort of hang back and just watch him.
I
I
stop
don't
it.
think I can do that.
I stop at whatever
I
door
have
it is,
to help.
and then I look back and I'm like, I feel like you guys need to stop chit chatting and move your butts. Come on, chop chop.
And at this moment in time, just to get him to shut up, I take the magnet that I've been keeping out of my pocket and just sort of flick it at his head.
Roll lasers.
3. Yeah.
Laser feelings. So the magnet will stick to the back of Jimmy's head. What's your laser feelings question?
Is there anything else in the room with the Hive Queen?
Yes, there is other things in that room.
I push the button and open the door.
Cool. So you
Not
head
quite
down
the
the
right
corridor.
question.
You head down the corridor to the left, and you press the button to open up the door. And inside this room, you don't see the Hive Queen. However, you do see at least 6 space pirate queens. They are all entirely identical, and they're dressed like 1950s house mums.
I like it.
Mummy?
Red polka dots. And they all turn to you at the same time and in unison. Yes.
Meanwhile, I just sort of stand back, just cross my arms, just sort of looking at him, just waiting to see what he comes up with, because clearly he's never met his mum before, so just waiting to see whether he can sense that.
I feel like we should kill them all. I say that today too.
That would sort of defeat the purpose of our quest. I'm just saying.
I don't trust
Why
it.
would you kill us, Jimmy? We're just trying to fix things.
What?
We have been created by the Hive Mother. We will help her reclaim the world.
Oh, I use clones.
She's been brainwashed.
We're not clones. We are. Wait, and then they all turn to each other like, okay, so we are clones, right? They're like, yeah, no, yeah, we are clones. Okay, yes, we are clones.
Where's Mummy?
And then they all point in like an exact equal timing to at the other side of the room. There's it's like a waffle maker that's closed.
Is Mummy dead?
No, we need to keep her alive for our plans.
Where's the Hive Queen?
And then they all point, and then it's like in a straight line. It's the other door that you haven't been through.
I feel like, as my mummy, all 6 of you would help me kill the Hive Queen right now.
Roll feelings.
I really should have made it like a character trait that Jimmy's just a massive bitch. Laser feelings.
Laser
Bitch.
feelings. So that's one success. What's your laser feelings question?
My question is, if I succeed on a roll to strum the chords on the whatchamacallit,
Banjo.
banjo, if I can hit the exact frequency of faster than light travel, could I, in theory, transport at that speed with anyone touching me?
In theory.
Excellent.
In theory.
If I succeed a dice roll.
If you succeed, if you get like critical success, which is 3 successes.
Okay, cool.
So with 1 success, I will say that the various clones of the Space Pirate Queen, 3 of them step forward like they are going to help you, and then the other 3 stop them, and then they all have like the exact same argument at the exact same time, where they're discussing if they should help their son defeat the Space Pirate Queen.
I feel like you would
Or the
just
High
fight it out and kill each other now.
With that, the 3 that are sort of trying to stop them all look at each other, nod, and then throw a haymaker. And then there's like 3 of the exact same fight happening at the exact same time. So they're all preoccupied. What do you do?
Let's go kill the Hive Queen.
You sidestep them.
You still haven't rescued the original, like
Oh,
the
yeah.
original Space Pirate Queen.
We could just go to that.
So sort of the other side of the room, where there's like the brawl going on of like the 3 identical fights from the clones. There is like the waffle maker thing, and you find a control panel for it.
Plasma. What do we do?
Meanwhile, I'm just sort of opening and closing it, seeing whether it works.
It's like a giant waffle maker. It's like the size of a person.
We also need to cross the room to get to it as well.
Yeah, no, like you can walk through the room
Yeah.
to like the other side of it. Like, they're preoccupied.
What are we doing? Are we going for cousin mummy, or are we going for Hive Queen?
Well, I feel like since she was kidnapped, she'd probably help us fight the Hive Queen if we got her free beforehand. Because I'm sure she doesn't like the Hive Queen either for having kidnapped her and cloned her and imprisoned her in a waffle iron.
I suppose, yeah.
So I'm going to start screwing with the control panel and see if I can figure out how to open this sucker.
Hey, press roll for lasers.
Can I help in any way?
Yeah, you can help her like. You can try and help her find the correct buttons. So that'll be roll 2 dice for lasers.
I'm just like, I feel like I would push that button, so don't push that button. That's the way I'm helping. I'm going based
I'm
off
keeping
my...
a watch on the. I'm keeping a watch on the brawl.
What did you get there, Plasma?
5 and a 2.
5 and 2. So that's a mixed success. So the first, you sort of look at it, and it's like the controls of like a slightly out of date printer, and that none of it makes sense. And you press one button, and then sort of from a tube on the ground next to you slides a Space Pirate Queen. And then you press another button quickly, and then the waffle iron opens up, and then inside it is the Space Pirate Queen.
I run right over.
Cool. You run up to the Space Pirate Queen. The Space Pirate Queen on the floor looks at the brawl of the other Space Pirate Queens, and then just kind of runs in and then flying body presses into the sort of now grounded pile of them.
What?
Just runs in and just.
So I think I
jumps
made
on.
another clone and then freed the original.
Uh-huh.
Well, that was effective.
So
Gonna-
there's now,
I did get her free, so I mean, come on.
there's now a pile of 7 Space Pirate Queens brawling on the floor. Jimmy, as you run up to sort of this waffle iron cloning machine, the Space Pirate Queen sort of stumbles out of it. She looks weak and a bit malnourished from being trapped in this cloning device, and she sort of falls forward into your arms, Jimmy.
How big is she?
She's like a small woman.
I mean, it makes no sense that you're with cousin daddy, because you're so small and he's like 15 foot in every direction, apparently. He's like a giant square. I mean, it was a confusing description because, sizes and circular shapes, they're really hard to verbally describe. So, Cousin Mammy, we're going to get you home to Cousin Daddy the Pirate King. And I sit her down and I'm like, come here, we're getting out of here. And then I get ready to play my banjo.
Okay. She sort of sits on the ground and is incredibly confused about what's actually happening at the moment.
I do not register this at all. I just get that she totally understands everything I've said.
I did not expect any less.
Jimmy's good at his job.
What are you two going to do?
And I'm like, well, we can go home now. Seeing as we've rescued the Pirate Queen, I don't think we need to go and disturb the Hive Queen. We can just sort of skedaddle.
I mean, they are trying to destroy a planet. We might want to stop that.
If you grab on, I can hopefully get us out of here if you'd help me with this tune. Because I think I've got a hypothesis, and that's a big word for me. I feel like I've kind of got smarter over the course of this session. I feel like if I play the frequency of the faster than light travel sound banjos, because that's how it works, right? It's a banjo sound wave. If you can remind me of the tune, and we can get it in sync, and we all hold on, but in theory we could just, and I could transport us to somewhere safe. I've got a location in mind.
I feel like we should leave the plane to, the mosquitoes that couldn't actually play the banjo, but...
The one that doesn't have hands anymore because he burnt his fingers off? Okay. I mean, right now, isn't exactly... I don't feel like this is the time for this. I feel like you should just get with the plan or don't get with the plan.
I mean, give it a go. See what happens.
I'm slowly building up.
Alright, I'll see if I can I'll start humming the faster than light tune, so remind him how it goes.
Okay, so as you, Venus, are you going to help?
I'm just sort of tapping my foot to the tune, going. I'm getting more and more into it every time he goes through it. I'm like, okay, maybe.
Okay, so as you all stand there, waiting as Jimmy slowly builds up speed. Jimmy, roll 4d6 on feelings.
And I've grabbed his shoulder and grabbed the Pirate Queen just in case it works.
I should probably grab one as well.
Yeah, I think you should.
Behind.
So, 3 successes is needed.
3 successes.
3 successes is needed.
5. 4. 5.
Okay, sure.
2.
Okay, so
these are feelings as well.
Okay, so as Jimmy stands there, gradually building up speed on this banjo lick over and over and over again, getting faster and faster and faster and faster. His fingers start to you can hear creaking and grinding from the gears inside of his fingers as the speed increases, the friction of his fingers moving so fast. Eventually you hear the sort of hum coming from around you as the cosmic waves of the universe build and contort around you, and eventually this sort of wave emits from the banjo, which almost immediately explodes as you faster than light travel too.
As this is happening, as we're kind of entering the wave, do we realise that it... Can I make a roll to see if something happens? Just as a pitch.
What is it?
Right, so basically what I'm wondering is, is this banjo actually the source of all faster than light travel, and it's this moment that actually created it through all of time? And it's actually, as we enter it, we begin to see just the group of us there, and then it's that's how all faster than light travel is just us in this moment playing the banjo.
Well, sure, yeah. In this moment, you somehow throughout time create the concept of faster than light travel through an epic banjo solo. And as the strain of it starts to tear Jimmy apart as he keeps playing faster and faster, you can faster than light travel to where's your location of choice?
I travel to
Okay. You finally, with a final strum of a chord, blast off through the universe at incredible speed, surrounded by this golden wave of energy, and land on the planet of Schmolkin.
Schmuck.
The planet Schmolkin. And you're sort of in front of this smart-looking guy with pointy ears and really awful hair.
I just kind of
Jimmy, your fingers are like wrecked. Like they're basically destroyed, and the banjo has basically burnt to cinders from the strain of creating faster light travel in the whole universe forever and all time.
feel like I finally truly expressed myself. I
As you
call
sort
it
of-
an ode to cousin, mommy,
and
cousin,
as-
daddy. And then
and
I
as
take
you s-
all my magnets and just pour them on my head and then fall to the ground and just kind of like.
As you do so, all of your fingers fly off rather undramatically, just one by one.
Having
Whilst this is going on, I'm just sort of looking at him going, well, at least there's no more diary entries.
Jesus.
As this happens, the space pirate queen stands up and goes, okay, so actually what the fuck is happening?
We're here to rescue you. Your husband sent us. We're Captain Darcy's crew.
Ah, great. Okay, cool. Why are we here, though, in some strange lab?
I'm afraid you'll
That's
have
a
to
very
ask
good
that
question.
one. We haven't got a
That's a
clue.
question for Jimmy.
He's out his face on magnets because the pain.
All right,
was
I start
unbearable.
pulling the magnets off his head.
Yeah.
I just
How do you-
start tapping him. I'm like, is anyone in there? Yeah.
I feel like you don't need to do that.
Just
Hey,
sort of
Jimmy,
tap it a
can
bit
you wake up
harder.
and help us out?
What's up? What? I feel like it's obvious why we're here. Come on, everybody knows, right? Or is it just me that knows? Oh, it's just me. I feel like
Definitely just you.
I had a plan, and I feel like I didn't exactly tell anyone the plan.
Uh-huh.
And then I kind of like try and sit up, having like basically melted my fingers off and like singed and took most of the heat for everyone during the travel. I feel like my time in this universe is nearing an end, you know, because I don't have fingers anymore. I feel like I can't write my diary entries, and I feel like I've got one singular solution, and that's to go steal their time travel device, or borrow if they're willing to help. Yeah, because they've got a time travel device. That's in my data bank. I feel like I forgot to mention that to you guys. We go back in time and we set up a trap to blow up the ship. And we make it that we save the day, we've saved the pirate queen, and we do it, you know? Like, and I can get my fingers back by travelling back far enough to when I was built. Maybe add a banjo chip, make sure that I can do what I did. You know? I feel like we've got an opportunity here to get us exactly where we need to be.
As you're saying this, the Schmolkin scientist that's in the room goes, yeah, you definitely can't use the time travel machines. Just definitely not.
I feel like you should just help us. I just blew my fingers off and created faster than light travel. I feel
don't
like you
know
should
who
emphasize.
you are.
I am the Jimmy, the ultimate banjo playing god.
What?
I played a banjo. It got us here from a spaceship in a different quadrant of the galaxy. So I feel like you should show me some more respect, and I feel like you should help us, or you guys should kill him. And I'll
As you say
whisper
this-
that to them.
I'm sort of
As
edging away from him.
As you say this, the Schmolkin scientist sort of looks at you, mouth agape, and then just slowly falls backwards and faints.
All right, I'm gonna go over and try and make sure he's okay and try and revive him. 'Cause-
I'm going to explore to see where I can find this device that Jimmy keeps talking about.
Plasma, roll 2 for lasers. Venus, roll 2 for lasers.
Anything I know about
1
it,
and
where it
3.
might be, I want to tell them to
Oh,
help.
5 and a 4. That's a big fail.
Big fail. You diagnose him with a case of dead.
Oh dear.
Venus, you also say that Jimmy wouldn't know where it actually is. He just knows that they have one.
I've gone exploring for it. I'm
So
looking
you
for
go. That was just because Jimmy wanted to help. So what did
Oh.
you roll, Venus?
3 and a 1.
3 and a 1. So that's a laser feelings. So you go through, and literally the next room from the one you're currently in, it's just labeled time travel device room.
Ah.
I just think of something. I put my hook hand on.
Jimmy now has one hook hand. It's like a laser hook, so you can like press a button on it and it has a laser on the hook.
Sweet.
Like a really, really shitty lightsaber.
I can express my feelings with a laser. I'll call it feeling laser.
I'm just looking at him shaking my head.
And that's all, folks. That's where we're going.
You've also got a question, Venus. Sorry, I jumped.
Yes,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
you do have laser feelings.
My question is, where in this next room can I find the manual of how to work this space travel?
So
Oh,
as you
nice.
open up the door, which is unlocked, which is odd, you go in and you see in the back of the room there's a sort of British police phone box, but it's red for legal distinction. It's red. And sort of in like there's just a pedestal in front of it that contains like an Argos catalogue worth of instructions on how to pilot it.
Nice.
I like that the police box is red for copyright, but there's an Argos catalogue.
It's like the size of an
It's like
Argos
one
catalogue.
is regarded as marketing, and the other that's in like their time travel guidelines. It's like it's important to know the difference between marketing and copyright.
Copyright.
Oh,
no, we've lost one.
that's all right. Just continue for the moment and we'll find out
Cool.
what's...
So there's this big Argos catalogue sized tome of instructions for the time-mess. The time-mess. It's the time-mess because it goes in time. No, it's the tote because it's a boat of time. So it's a tote.
Nice. Well, I'm gonna wander over to this Argos catalogue size.
Argos,
Argos, yeah.
The Argosian catalogue.
Yeah, this log. Start flicking through the pages to try and work out how this works. But as I'm doing this, I'm just getting more and more annoyed because I realise I'm not very good at reading. I'm really bad, and I'm sitting there getting more and more annoyed, and I'm like coming to the realisation I'm going to have to ask Jimmy for help, and I really don't want to. So I've got about halfway through it, and I'm just like, I just can't get any further. So I just turn around and I'm like, Jimmy, you know we've been friends for a while, haven't we?
I mean, I feel like
I've helped you out so much over this quest thing that we've been doing that you won't hold it against me at all, will you? If I'm not very good at something.
Just before I answer that, I'm just going to quickly tell you guys at home that Pippa will be back very shortly, hopefully. Our battery just died, and we've resent her wee link to join the chat, just so you know that she's not just ran away on us. Jimmy then leans in with his laser hook. I feel like I 100% will write it down in my diary because I feel like it's been a while since I've written a diary entry.
Well, that's nice for you, but you don't have any fingers left, so how are you going to write?
He uses the hook to scorch it in.
Nice. Just a letter to a page, is it?
Dear diary, I feel Like, today has been amazing. I feel like it began with me about to die horribly, with a pirate hologram appearing on our ship's screens. I feel like the captain betrayed us once more, because he's an idiot and doesn't know the difference between a somewhat or a thingy-majiggy. I feel like we've been on an epic journey for me to find my cousin daddy and my cousin mummy. And I feel like it's just got even better with the cherry on top. With the cherry on top of Venus looking for my help. I feel like I'm gonna help her, and I feel like I'm gonna love it, because I feel like I'm gonna hold it over her forever. Love, Jimmy. P.S. That feels good, doesn't it, Jimmy? Kiss, kiss. To which then Jimmy decides, do you know what, Venus? I feel like I won't hold it against you. And he does that face as if, like, clearly badly lying to you.
Yes. So I'm just like, I turn around to him and just go, I've sort of realised because I'm an alien, I can't really read English, which is clearly the language that this Argos catalogue is in.
It's actually in Schmalkin.
Oh, is it?
I feel like we have an
There's
issue
different sections to it in different languages.
I feel like the entire manuals for the ship are in English, and I feel like that would explain a lot of your neglect to the Jimmy's feeling sections in the captain's manual for the crew, and I feel like that explains why you've neglected me for so long.
Because I can't read English.
Yeah, I feel like you could have told me you were an alien. I mean, I feel like while we're being honest, I should tell you. And I feel like it wasn't obvious, but I'm an android. I know, shocker. I've got stretchy arms, magnets. Get me drunk.
I have to say, it's come as a real shock to me, and I think I'll have to process it. So whilst I am processing this information, would you please read this to me?
Okay, read the manual.
Yeah, you read the Argosian log and roll lasers.
Can I roll one for help as well, because she's helping turn the pages because I don't have fingers?
Sure, yeah, I'll allow it.
I got a 1 and a 2.
Cool. So that's a laser feelings. Do you have a laser feelings question you wish to ask me?
No, I'll think of one if you tell me
Okay,
what we find.
so as you go through the Argosian log, you eventually figure out how you could pilot the tote, the time boat that's shaped like a police box but red. What the fuck has happened to this session? You can you could pilot it, however, with only a hook hand. You would need the assistance of other hands in order to control it. Like at least 2 other sets of hands.
I feel like
how convenient.
There are 3 of us.
I feel like this is a convenient plot hook. Jimmy says that out loud and then laughs like that. And then he's like, I feel like that was a very weird meta joke that I don't even understand, because that would imply that this is all fictional in some capacity. I feel like Jimmy's having an existential crisis now.
Well,
okay.
Aren't we all just characters in a cosmic story?
Jimmy's trying to figure
Jimmy's
out if
on
he's
the
in
brink.
Matrix.
Jimmy's question is, can he get if he goes to the right point, if he goes to the factory, back in time to the factory when he was made, could he add a secret little box inside his own compartment of spare hands and an extra attachable arm, which would explain the weird bum thing, that weird hole at his butt that's been there the whole time?
Yes, because time travel.
Can I open it up? Is it there?
Yeah, sure.
Fuck yeah.
As long as while you time travel, you immediately go and fix that situation.
Yep. I throw out the parts and then I ask these two to help me. I feel like if you guys could help me put on my hands, I can put on the third arm.
Okay. I immediately go up to him and I start putting up the hands, but I start putting them on backwards just to annoy him.
All right, I'm gonna stop her and take the hands and be like, seriously, Venus, seriously, and I start putting them on right.
Okay,
Bit fun.
the knife, roll lasers, and I'll say you can have an extra d6 for being a talkster.
Thank you.
You will certainly are not prepared for this, however.
No, I'm not. Hey, a 3 and a 3.
Double laser feelings, cool. So you attach both of Jimmy's hands perfectly, along with his other arm. What laser feelings questions do you have?
Oh boy. Since we have the time machine, can we go back in time and make it so that the Pirate Queen was never stolen in the first place, kidnapped?
And we still have
the entire timeline.
I am choosing, because Jimmy could go back in time and leave something for himself, I'm going to say that it has to be a stable time loop you create. So you can't do something that would actively contradict the current reality, which isn't current because it's just a single point on the infinite map of time. But no. I can't believe you got time travel into this, David. You fiend.
Whilst we're at it, is it possible to go back in time and get the tip sensation back?
Oh, that's a good question.
Crashed and burned.
We could just get a second one.
How?
You could go to the factory with the tip sensation.
Can it just?
It's
just the same factory. It's just the same factory that I was built in. It's called Durexia, the planet.
Every ship comes equipped with a standard Jimmy support robot.
Oh god, we're gonna have 2 Jimmys.
Oh god. No, this one's just a backup.
Well,
the Jimmy bot doesn't.
So to all the people at home, this is what my hell feels like.
Okay, since we now understand how to time travel, does it also work as a normal spaceship?
Yeah, because it's similar to, but legally distinct from Doctor Who's spaceship, the TARDIS.
Okay.
So
except it's called a tote and it's red.
First thing I would say we do is drop off Cousin Mummy, and then we go do the other stuff and just kind of
get everything back. We should probably, as much as he annoys us and we really don't like him sometimes, we should probably pick up Captain Darcy, considering that by now he's probably going to be okay.
I'm going to head into the TARDIS and start setting settings to take the others, to take the women back.
To the space pirate fleet.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get with your extra arm and a bit of assistance, you program the tote to time travel, space travel you to land dramatically right in front of him as he's taking a shit, which is like they have a whole deck of the shit for it. It's the poop deck.
Nice.
Cousin Daddy, you're not a robot. I no longer love you. That's literally that's what I say. And then I I literally chuck the Queen at him, and I'm like, I feel like you've disgusted me and let me down, and I feel like you've let Cousin Mummy, who is also clearly a robot, down as well.
You're like, had you not interrupted him mid shit, he would have shit himself just there.
I closed the door, and then I'm like, we'll come back for the captain in a minute. I feel like we should go and fix the whole arms thing and get the other ship.
Yeah, because Captain Darcy probably won't be too happy if he finds out that we blew up Tip Sensation. So
Tip
Right.
sensitivity, you mean?
I
I prefer the tip sensation. That's funnier.
Well, I mean, that's what we go back and that's what we come back with.
That's
the new one.
We go back in
one's
time.
called.
We park and we build basically an exact replica of Tip Sensitivity, but we add a few tweaks where it's got like a few extra bells and whistles. We bring it back, except now it's called Tip
Sensation.
Sensation.
And we park it next to we park it invisibly next to this ship so that we can just use the tote to pick up Darcy and then jump on it and then just get the out of there.
Okay, so you come back with a similar to your original ship, the Tip Sensation. Pick up Captain Darcy, who like sort of is just coming out of their medical pod, and then sees you guys there with the ship.
Could
just
I also have grabbed 4 extra arms?
Sure, to a total of 7.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. You have 7 total arms.
Cool.
I'm just gonna nick one of them and start hitting him with it because he's had enough arms. He doesn't need any more.
He does have 6 other arms to beat you with.
No, he can't
They're
comprehend.
just hitting him.
Yeah, he just can't comprehend it that I've just grabbed one of them and started like slapping him around the face because I'm just trying to teach him a lesson that he doesn't need any more arms.
I feel like you'll understand one day. Just give me my arm. Thank you. I feel like I needed a hand and then you slapped me about with my hand. That's not exactly what I needed.
Well, I gave it to you, but it's just maybe not in the way you wanted.
I just throw a magnet at her face.
Don't work. I'm not metal. Just chuck it back at him.
And I'm just sort of walking away, just completely.
Darcy looks like they have a severe hangover, and they have a big cup of coffee, and they look at you all, and they just look like, honestly, the fact that you have an extra arm doesn't even surprise them at this point. Like, they're just like, why? And then he looks at their ship, and they're like, what? Why is it called the Tip Sensation now? What happened?
You don't want to know.
Actually, do you know what? You're bang on the money there. I don't. And he just walks on the ship. Or they walk on the ship.
Are we all still on the tote? Or have we got on the tips in?
I was up to you guys if you're getting on the tote or the Tip Sensitivity.
Well, I know what
I feel like we should some ways bring the tote on.
Yeah, I think we should return it.
You could fit the tote on the Tip Sensitivity.
I feel like we need to. I think we still have use for it, I think.
I feel like we should give the captain a tour of the ship.
Of the Tip Sensation.
Yeah.
Or of the tote.
Or of both.
I'm going to quickly go grab something from my room if you guys want to show them a bit the
sensation. Yeah.
Sensation.
I bet the tips.
So
Mark
as
two.
you can.
Tips 2 electric boogaloo.
Tips 2. Extra pleasurable. Extra pleasure.
It's a real pleasure cruise. Anyway.
Ribbed for better defence. It's got riches along it. Anyway.
No, that's it. No, the session's done. No. I quit all role-playing games forever. All of them forever. I stopped. Forever. No, thank you. This.
Alright, we broke the DM, you guys.
You take Captain Darcy on a tour of the Tip Sensation. Jimmy, what are you fetching from your room?
As soon as they start taking him on the tour, I'm gonna have left my diary in my room, and I'm going to have attached my arms as I've ran back to the tote, because now I have one additional arm and hand to what I was required to have in order to pilot it myself.
And where are you going to take it?
I'll answer that in the diary if they find it, but yeah, I take it and I leave.
Okay. Venus and the Knife, you go on a tour of the T.I.P.S sensitivity with Darcy, who's like, this is just the exact fucking same, why are we bothering? And then
Meanwhile,
drinks
I
their
am
coffee.
slightly passive aggressive, just going. So as you can see, the bridge is still intact, but maybe so. There's no logs on it at the moment, but hopefully in the future you can keep some very accurate bombs, so we actually know what's happening this time.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Sure, and you can keep talking smack when you can pilot. I'm tired, and he just wanders off to where his quarters are, or their quarters are.
So at this point, I'm like, Jimmy's been gone for a while. Should we go see if he's okay?
I hadn't noticed. I thought he was just writing in his diary again.
So I'm gonna head over to Jimmy's quarters and knock on the door.
Okay. There is no response.
So I'm gonna open the door and be nosy.
Okay. You open the door. You see no Jimmy. I'm assuming Jimmy's room isn't that complicated because he's a robot guy.
Yeah, pretty much
Just
all that's there.
Cupboard.
All that's there is like a smashed picture of the captain that's been like put back together with tape, and like from earlier at the beginning, and then sitting on his like it's not even a bed; it's just like a flat surface that he's painted like to look like a bed. And
It's a
then
little bit sad.
sitting on it is just a diary page.
I'm totally reading that.
Meanwhile, I sort of wander in to Plasma discovering this diary, and I'm just like, well, I guess we better read it then. And guess her to read it out to me.
Dear diary, I feel like I tricked these suckers. I feel like I got the tote and I feel like I'm out of here. Nah. I feel like that's what I wish I could say. I feel like that would be better to say. And I feel like that would bother them less. Truth is, I feel kind of glad that I had Venus and Plasma by my side. I feel like cousin mummy and cousin daddy and their freakishly humanoid ways were disappointing in every way. I feel like I got a sick banjo solo that ripped us through the universe. I feel like Venus was so close to having the best Bumblebee costume. I feel like she could have done an amazing shot had she actually went to the target range, as it says in English, to do in the manual. I feel like Plasma was a courageous leader. I feel like she shouldn't be a doctor. I feel like she should be a captain. A captain doctor. Dr. Captain. I feel like that's a good name for a character. I feel like she should become Captain. Dr. Captain. Captain Doctor. I feel like that's the way to go. I feel like I've went on a tangent. I feel like I've done what I do. I feel like I've failed to express myself again here in these pages. I feel like it's so important that they know that they meant something to me. However, I feel like it's time for me to travel through time and space, the universe, possibly even the multiverse if possible, to find my true purpose in all of this. I feel ready to move on. Love, Jimmy. P.S. I love you guys.
Oh.
P.S.S. I love you, Jimmy. It feels good. Kiss, kiss.
And with that, we dramatically pan out from the tip sensation, and we see a flash of the tote spinning through space before it vanishes, traveling to a different point in space-time. And I think that's probably the best place to call it. That was mad. Really. Please go to the Facebook page and just post loads of stuff about wanting to see the follow-up adventures of Jimmy, the 8-armed space-time traveling robot.
Oh my god, yes.
We just need a series about it.
If we get enough people requesting it, I will run a follow-up of Lasers and Feelings with Jimmy, the space-time traveling robot.
And we'll come up with some sort of copyright-free music solution to the show that would directly be ripping off. Yeah, I mean, it's been a blast tonight. I've enjoyed that.
I enjoyed that.
It was hilarious.
It was. I don't know what I was expecting.
Was it wilder than you thought?
But that was not one of the things I was expecting.
Yeah.
It never is. So, I mean, that was Lasers and Feelings this week on Burnout GM. Lewis very kindly ran it like a pro and dealt with our wild shenanigans. I want to thank our two guest players. Oh, yeah.
Before we finish, shouts out to John Harper, the person who designed Lasers and Feelings. Feel we should probably say that.
Yes, thank you, John. You've gave us a great evening here. Thank you to our two players, Chris and Pippa, and I have been David as well. You've seen me about. Yeah, I guess that's it for this week's Burnout GM. We'll be back next Wednesday, 7 p.m. I will be running Call of Cthulhu next week. On Sunday this week at 6 p.m, we have Fran running By the Book with some new players. I mean, I say new, they've had one game before, and that was last Wednesday. So you'll recognise their faces, but they're brand new to D&D still. So remember, the most important thing in all of this is to stay strange, but don't be strangers. See you soon.